Good Saturday morning to you, Jackson, West Tennessee. Welcome in Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live right here from Caddy Sports Club in the heart of North Jackson. And we are here, 601 Van Drive till noon today. We'll be talking sports all morning long. We're excited about the conversation today as region football action is heating up. Boy, things got real interesting last night in Region 4A. We'll try to break that down and more as we go throughout this show today. We've got basketball previews as well. May see a Coach Fuller sighting today. Not quite sure. The sun is out. If he can get some concrete, he's probably pouring concrete. But if he can get over here, we'll get him on. If not, we'll be talking with Coach Brent McNeil of the Lady Hawks. Southside had a big win last night in football action on senior night, but we'll be talking Lady Hawks action and with Britt McNeil shortly today. It's going to be a brief interview, but we'll have him on here when he rolls in. He's got to roll out for a couple family events this morning. I've got a wedding to attend this afternoon, so we're going to make this show spot on noon today, and then we're going to head out. Very excited about that. So big congratulations to Caesar Quispe, owner of the Jackson Boom, who's getting married today, and starting his new life with his new bride there here in Jackson, promoting soccer, and I got my Nashville Soccer Club gear on this morning. I don't think enough has been said about Nashville Soccer Club winning the championship. They did something that has never been done in the state of Tennessee, and that's bring home the gold, the championship here for professional sports. And they go out and they win the championship, and now they will be able to compete for the Lamar Hunt Trophy. And wow, I mean, what an opportunity for Nashville soccer. And I'm going to say this today. I think Nashville is headed to. You know what? Actually, that may be here. Maybe here in Nashville, but Inter Miami, Messi, may be coming to Nashville today to play and compete against the Nashville Soccer Club. But big shout out to Nashville for winning the championship. Come on in, Coach. Man, we got you ready to go, and I know you're got a busy day lined up. Your day is busy and busier and even more busy each and every day.
Every day.
Good morning, man. Good morning. Coach Brent McNeil, head coach of the Lady Hawks. Coach, let's first and foremost, real quickly, as you are now the AD for Southside, let's quickly talk about that game last night, because the Hawks kind of struggled a little bit in the first. It was a defensive battle, a couple performances by the defense, a couple turnovers on downs, a strip fumble, and an interception. But in the second half, it seemed like the offense really came to life. But you got to be really proud of your team on senior night there as AD, and the Hawks getting a win in the region play, in which right now we don't know where that stands.
Right. Yeah, I think that was part of the issue in the first half. Just emotions. Having so many seniors on that team. I think it was 22 seniors last night.
Wow.
And a vast majority of them start, on one side of the ball or the other. So I think a lot of it was emotions. Brayton Weldon kind of got the scoring going in the first half. I think he scored all three of his in the first half because he didn't play in the second half.
Not much, yeah.
So thankfully for big plays, like you said, Simeon Graham with the strip. And I thought he was going to score. He just kept going and going. So that really helped out. Swung some momentum because at that time, Hardin County was driving the ball. Same thing with his interception. They were timely plays. And hats off to Hardin County. the record doesn't show it, but man, those kids play hard,
Yeah.
and I could hear our kids on the sideline talking about them. They was like, man, they get after it,
Yeah.
So, but talking about that region with South Gibson beating Crockett last night, like it's a fiasco, and it's going to be a race to the end.
Yeah, 100%. Northside lost. Now, they didn't lose in the region. They lost their homecoming game and Giles County non-region opponent. But the way the tiebreaker's set up, it's not only about your wins, but then your opponent's wins. And now you have to really rely on building a schedule that you can beat, and, they can go beat somebody to be able to get those non-region wins. Because right now we've got like a four-way tie for second place. South Gibson, who now leads the region, if for some reason they were to lose again, they've got a lower record than everybody else. I mean, they could end up fourth or out of the playoffs just because their overall record.
Yeah.
I don't understand it all. It makes my head hurt. But what it is, it's exciting.
It is.
When you start talking about, hey, this is a must-win game, and that's a must-win game, and over here we've got to do this, and they've got to do that. Obviously, in this line of work, it's very exciting for us to talk about all of those things. And it's going to come down to, for Southside, they got to win pretty much the last two.
We'll have to win out and a little bit of help. The good thing is the head-to-head with South Gibson, we have that tiebreaker if it came down to us two. Our losses are to Milan, who's undefeated right now.
Yeah.
Lexington, who's sitting at tied for second, however it's going right now, and Northside. So, and both of us have a 5-3 record right now. It's gonna come down to Halloween night, honestly. So we just hopefully our kids understand the totality of what's going on and locked in. For the duration of the season.
Yeah, you gotta take care of what's in front of you first, and that's the Hawks.
Yeah.
I know this man walking through the door right now will have something to say about cleaning up their own mistakes, and they had some last night.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's one of those things where if you just take care of business, you're gonna have success.
Yeah.
And you'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now the playoffs in itself is another fiasco, right? 'Cause
It's
you
a
got
new
these pods now,
pod. Mm-hmm.
And 1 and 4. To be honest with you, I think one has a cakewalk to the semifinals if they can.
It depends because of the way those pods are shaking out. If everybody sweeps, you could be traveling somewhere else where you could be playing a 2 seed from another region that's a 1 somewhere else.
Right.
It's not how it was in the past. But like you said, ultimately you have to take care of in-house, so cleaning up small mistakes, getting kids healthy, just fine-tuning your own details.
Right.
At this point you really can't look at what somebody else is doing. You just gotta
gotta win what's in front of you.
You got 1 foot in front of the other now.
And basically for all of these teams in 4A, it's a must-win situation.
Yep.
Because in theory, as you said, with those tiebreakers, somebody who could be sitting in first and second place could find themselves out of the playoffs.
Yep.
If for some reason they flub up on these last two
Yeah,
games.
and Michael Odom, he actually posted how the tiebreaker scenarios will go. Obviously, you always want to use the first one, which is head-to-head. But the way our region is going, that might be out the window,
immediately.
And it may come down to win percentages of your opponents. So it was great for us to have, Milan on the schedule early. And you're talking about 2 yards of who knows what happens in that ball game, So, man, it's hats off to these kids. And I think those seniors and Coach Narcisse himself, they've really bought into what he's bringing to the table. It's always different when new people come in, and it took a little time. Just like when I got to Southside, it takes time for kids to adjust to you, but I think they've adjusted, and they're believing in what his system is. We got a great coaching staff. They work together. Yep. And at the end of the day, you got a Friday and a Thursday to determine, you did your part. Yeah. And now it comes down to A, B, C, D, and how it falls.
Yeah, you basically got 11 days. To make your dreams come true.
Make your push.
Make that push. So, hey, let's turn to the round ball because Yeah, it's around the corner. I mean, you guys start practice here in about 2 weeks officially.
November the 3rd.
November the 3rd.
Yeah.
And probably play 2 weeks after that.
November the 18th.
Yeah.
We're, I say it all the time. We're the only school. We're the only team. Like basketball is the only sport that only really gets 2 weeks to prepare. You know, and a lot of times teams come right out the gate playing some of the best talent that they can play.
Yeah.
You know, so we've often talked about, hey, take 2 weeks away from us in the last 2 weeks of July, especially with us having so many kids that play AAU basketball. It's hard for us to really practice a lot in July anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, take those 2 weeks away and give us 2 weeks in the last 2 weeks of October.
Right. And how do you feel as a head coach? And you've had a lot of success, right, in your tenure as head coach at Southside. You're well over 100 games in the last 4 years, and anybody would die for that success, a state championship, undefeated season. And I don't want to say that. Nobody would die for that success.
No.
But, you know, they would love to have
Love
that
it,
success.
right.
But, you know, you talk about that and that push. You've had the success. Do you think that the way you coach and your style of play right now, that having that 2 extra weeks would make your team run any better, run any smoother than what it is?
Oh, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, they're still kids, 15, 16,
Yeah.
17-year-olds, you know. So we look at what's going on and the success we've had, but it's just like any other program. You know, some days kids don't want to be at practice.
Well, that's true.
Some days they're willing to give you everything, you know. So, and what you said, the die for, I always tell my team, ball is not life. I don't like that term, ball is life. I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, family situations, that's life. You know, having to work as a teenager to kind of help out. That's what life is.
Yeah.
Succeeding in the classroom, that's life. You know, learning how to overcome adversity. I think those are better key points to me than ball is life. You know, so I do think those 2 weeks would help, you know, because it's days where they don't want to do it. Like, and so, you know, we're looking at 2 weeks of preparing, and we come out the gate with Middleton, who's going to be really good, and TCA in the first week of Hall of Fame. So we come right out the gate with some high-quality teams, and I tell everybody there's a kid that's a ninth grader at TCA named Ava Ingalls that people better watch out for. Like, and then with having a new coach, again, it's somebody that's been around for them a little bit, but she's still new, and she was a heck of a player. I remember coaching at Bethel while she was playing at Bethel, and her post players are going to be physical. So that's going to be a team that you're going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, bringing a new, I think a new style to the TCA program.
Yep.
Not that they didn't have success.
No, Coach
in the
Coble
past.
had plenty of success, but you know, like he said when we talked about what's life, family was just, you know, his kids are getting a little bit older, so family kind of took a decision in that part. But she's going to be a little more fiery. Like, you know, Coach Coble was a really even-keeled guy. She has a little more, let's go. Like, and so.
I'm not sure that I ever seen him really get fired up on the sideline, like maybe a Ken Northcutt or
Yeah, right,
you know,
right.
A Brian Haskins
Yeah.
does, you know, stomping a Lee Pipkin, you know. He's a lot of times he just kind of sat and let the game flow as it went. You
Yeah,
know? And
yeah.
so, but and as you said, sometimes those life decisions are more important
Right.
than the game of basketball. And as a head coach, you got to help your kids through that. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because sometimes they don't have that direction and that guidance
Yeah.
from an adult in their life at home. And so when you have an even-keeled coach or set of coaches that can come, and that's what I really appreciate about our coaches here in Jackson, Madison County. I think right now Madison County has some of the best coaches, maybe even nationwide, maybe worldwide, because everything really doesn't just focus around the ball that's on their playing field.
Right.
It's really about that life situation.
It
and when
is.
you become better at life, you become a better athlete.
Yeah.
You become a better person. You become a better teammate. All those things, and that just makes your team stronger.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that the average fan doesn't really see. They don't see, like, we can talk about our football coach. He lives an hour and 30 minutes away, and he's there every morning, 6:30, 6:40, every single morning, taking kids home if need be, sitting in the in the hospital with kids when things go on, and there's so many other components that go into your sport than the wins and losses. Obviously, we all want to win. That's why we get into the sport. But you get into it to change lives. You want to 10 years from now, those kids that leave, and how are they in life? And a lot of those kids come back and they'll just say thank you. It's not anything in particular, but it's thank you for pushing me. Thank you for seeing something inside me that I didn't see as a 15-year-old. And that's the side of sports that most of us coaches really appreciate. That's success.
Yeah.
Like, other people count wins and losses as success. Us as coaches, we count success as how are you as a human being once you leave our programs and once you get into the real world.
Yeah. And I think that's really the difference in what high school coaches and coaches that make their career in high school are different than college coaches, especially nowadays with nil money income. Everything is goal-oriented, win-oriented.
It is.
If you don't win, you're probably going to get fired, as we've seen.
Yeah. James Franklin.
Franklin.
He was actually a few minutes away from playing for a national championship last year, and now, I mean, it's not bad. He gets to sit at home and still make millions, but he would love to be in the coaching realm.
Because in his contract, they said that if he doesn't actively look for a job and find a job within 30 days, he loses some of that money. So he didn't read his contract very well.
Could have.
I'm sure somebody read it, but they overlooked that clause, I'm afraid. Hey, let's talk about the Lady Hawks, because, again, this season's going to be here before we know. This fall is flying by.
It's flying by.
I can't believe we're in really the last 2 weeks of football here, and we're talking about playoffs, and basketball's going to start, and this year will be over before we know it.
Right.
But you guys are 56 and 10 in the last 2 years. You're 18 and 2 in the district play, region play, or district play. And so the success for the Lady Hawks is there, but you've graduated some big-time players over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
The Hawk team will look a little bit different this year than it has even in the past. And so talk to us about kind of how the season ended for you all last year. You guys make it to the quarterfinals, a loss against Northview Academy there in Murfreesboro. Not the exit you guys wanted. I'm sure you wanted to be in that state championship game. Everybody wanted to be there.
Right.
But talk to us about your seniors that graduated, and how does that Hawk team look this year, and who might we see on the court giving big minutes to the Lady Hawks?
Okay, well, going back to last year in that Northview game, when we saw the brackets, Northview was one of the teams that I really didn't want to play first round, simply because we were considered a big team, and they outsized us at all 5 positions. Had 2 6'1", 6'2" girls in the inside. And then Jaden got in foul trouble right off the bat in that game. But like I told those kids, when we looked at the stat sheet at the end of the night, turnovers were the same, shooting percentages were the same, free throw attempts were the same. I said the difference was, we missed 12 and they missed 4, and we lost by 5. So ultimately that was kind of the end of our season. We lost 3 seniors. One of them actually got hurt in the Northside game at Northside, so I lost her for the year, torn ACL. Was a leader. She wasn't really the kid that scored the most points for us, but she was just like our team auntie. Like, she just kept the locker room at bay. She made sure everything was clean, organized. She was our detail person. Then we lost another kid named Rihanna Kemp, who's actually playing for Jackson State right now. She was the laughter of our team. When I'm yelling or different things like that, she was able to keep everybody on the positive side of just, hey, we good, and laughing and give a joke. And that's one of those glue type kids that you can't ever have enough of. Just kids that just love to have fun, didn't stress a lot, knew when it was time to be serious, but also knew how to keep the team kind of at ease when everything was kind of tight. And then obviously, the last piece to that puzzle that we lost was Miss Basketball. Probably one of the hardest workers we've had at Southside in my tenure there. I can put her in the same category as a Keyshauna James, who's playing her 8th season professionally. But just a hard worker, just a motivator, a grinder. And her senior year, her role changed. During the state championship, she wasn't a leader. We didn't have to have her as a leader because of the 3 seniors we had that year. But she found that leadership, and she became really vocal in practice. And that's what you need out of your quote unquote best players. You need them to be vocal. You need them to push others into a different comfort zone. So losing those 3 will hurt. But we had a lot of kids that played a lot of minutes, simply because of how our season went and how some of our games went. A lot of kids saw a lot of action. Now, we know down 4, up 4, as opposed to down 20 or up 20 is a lot different in the landscape of how we're projected to handle that game. But we returned a senior this year, 2 seniors that were starters last year, so plenty of minutes in Addison Dilworth inside, who jumps as high as anybody you'll see in a gym, especially on the volleyball court. Michaela Newble, she'll be back. She's a returning senior. Another senior was Mala Lacey, who came off the bench, played a lot of quality minutes for us. So we still have a lot of experience. That junior class is really deep. Our junior class, Amira Cook started point guard for us last year.
And really, I mean, her game transformed.
It evolved as the year went on. Yeah. And then Rakia Mitchell, her and Addie, they battle on rebounds all the time. So they're jumping and bumping each other out of the way for those rebounds. So those 2. We actually had one that was hurt last year, so she didn't really get to play, but she started as a freshman. So we get her back, Zandria Cohill, a defensive specialist. She has hands just as big as mine, so she's a nuisance on defense. And then we just have some other pieces that are starting to figure out who they are as players, in terms of Michaela Bates, Aubrey Lewis. Those are other juniors that will probably get a lot of minutes, that know our system. They understand what it takes to be successful. And then we only have 2 sophomores. Obviously, they got in a bunch of games last year and was able to stand in the corners and shoot the ball. They didn't have to do a whole lot. So the role will pick up a little bit, especially for kid Madison Anderson. Her role will pick up a little bit. And then we have some freshmen that if the season started today, they wouldn't be ready. They wouldn't be able to get on the floor right now because it's just different from high school to middle school. But I think by Christmas, we're excited about the group of freshmen that we have. I think it's 5 of them, 6 of them. So it's a big freshman class, but we're excited to see what they bring and what they'll learn, come district time, so around January, February.
Yeah. And you look at the schedule, you talked about starting off at Middleton or the Hall of Fame with Middleton, and then at Trinity. You'll play both of those teams again before Christmas, but you're in a lot of tournaments, the Bartlett Thanksgiving Classic, Dynamics Hoop Fest, and these tournaments bring in some really big teams, some really good competition. And again, we talked about this with football. Your opponent's records matter in football, not quite so much in basketball, but the caliber of teams that you're playing and the experience that these girls get is probably even more important than the win-loss record of those teams.
It is. It's just preparation. You have some that love to go undefeated. Undefeated is never the goal. To play on that last Saturday in March, that's always the goal, no matter what the record is. I can remember, obviously somebody who means a lot to me with Coach Tyson. I can remember one year he had a 500 record, and they got hot at the right time and ended up in the glass house. So we try our best to play really tough opponents early on. That obviously when we go over to Bartlett, I think we're playing a team called Lift of Life or something. It's a pretty big program out of Arkansas. We always tell them, give us teams from out of state. Let us see something different. The Dynamic Hoop Fest, we're playing people that's ranked in the country. And then eventually, obviously, if you look at our schedule, we have one right here in Jackson that's ranked in the nation, a top 5 kid, and we'll be playing them twice this year with USJ. So we try to battle test our kids before we get into our district play. You don't play a lot of out-of-district teams after Christmas, but I think we have USJ again after Christmas, JCM after Christmas,
A big Henry County team.
Henry County, their girls were really good last year, and they returned a lot of pieces. You know, so it's exciting to get to play teams that we typically won't see and don't see. You know, so we're excited about our schedule, just to see how these girls will be able to handle different dynamics, honestly, of teams.
Yeah. And then you're in a district, you know, with Hardin County, who's historically has a pretty solid girls program, if not above average girls program. You know, Northside is down right now. Of course, Northcutt's trying to get them in the right direction. But, you know, historically they've had good programs. But, you know, McNary, a very tough program. Lexington girls, a very tough program. Chester County slides out of the district this year. No? They're still in?
We still got them.
Well, you got them, but they're not listed as a district.
Yeah, so they're still. So our district didn't change. Okay. In basketball.
Okay.
So.
I was looking at this and it wasn't listed as a district.
Yeah, they're still in. So Hardin County has a new coach who coached years at Lambeth, Coach Hill.
Oh, Coach Hill, yes.
Yeah, so they have a sophomore that's about 6'3".
Yeah.
And she covers a lot of ground. And they have another kid I believe she'll be a junior this year. They both play volleyball, but they play hard.
Yeah.
Like, so it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table with the new coach. But I know that they always play hard. Lexington graduated quite a few kids out of the starting lineup, 4 of them, one being the co-district MVP and Holly Bartholomew. But
a lot of points off the board.
A lot of points, but they'll get. I'm sure she'll find a way to get those kids going. And Coach Lott, I mean, he's all-time one of the winningest coaches in the state of Tennessee. I tell him and jokingly all the time, I won't ever get the 40 years of coaching like you are, but he's still at it. I make a joke. Sometimes I kind of look at our wins and losses against a lot of teams. He's one person I'm about 500 with. No matter what type of teams we have, there's always a battle right there. Yeah. And he's got some guards that can really play, really play. They're really good softball players as well, but they can really play. And then like you said, with Northside, from what I've been told, Northside got a couple of kids that's transferred in, from Middleton and somewhere else. So they may be getting in some kids and moving in the right direction of kids that just really want to play. Yeah. Regardless of your record, how hard do you want to play? Right. That's the big part.
And I think that's huge for the future of Northside. And I know we're talking Southside basketball here, but a lot of love for our district and Jackson County school teams here. When you get in a couple freshmen that potentially are going to be with you 4 years, that's where you can help build a program. Yeah. You get in a senior that can just help you right now, maybe score a few points. Well, that may not help you at all in reality, because you still may lose to these bigger teams. Right. But when you build that culture from those freshmen and those sophomores up, and you know it, you had to take your time and rebuild the Southside team, and you brought it in and you developed those freshmen and sophomores into a team that when they became juniors and seniors, and then they were ready to lead them. That came in and led, and then you started seeing major success, and that's, I think Northside could be headed in that right direction.
There's another team. They're not on our schedule, but there's another one that's probably going to be starting 5 freshmen this year. And if those kids stay together, grow a little bit, their junior year, they may be a really special bunch. And that's right down the road at Liberty. Yeah, they'll be really, really young. They'll have 6 or 7 freshmen that'll play quality minutes, and give them a year or two just to learn the high school style. People don't understand middle school and high school are really, really different. But them getting a chance to get their feet wet early, and they'll probably take some lumps early, but a couple of years it could be exciting to watch.
Yeah, I think when you get to high school, and I can't remember 15, 16 years that I coached girls basketball in Florida and here in Tennessee, and coaching Vanda Ross over at Northside when I was there early on. The defensive side of the ball, I think, is a huge difference from middle school to high school.
Extremely.
And you can go out and score buckets in middle school. Everybody can run up and down the floor and get the layups and things like that. But when you can stop a team 2, 3, 4 times in a row and build a lead, or just change the psyche of the game with those defensive stops. When a team feels they can't score on you, you've won part of the battle.
Right. Right,
And you may
right.
not have to go out and score a lot of points, but if you can stop them, boy, and you guys have.
Obviously that's what we do. I tell mine all the time. If the score is 4-2 and we won, I'm happy.
That's it.
It doesn't matter to me. If you can't play defense, it's hard to play basketball. This is one sport where the defensive side really matters. If y'all are exchanging points back and forth, somebody's got to have that last stop at the end of the game. So that's where if you talk to anybody about us, they're gonna say they're gonna get after you. They're gonna play defense. And these last couple of teams haven't been as physical as what people know us as, but just the thought of they play physical. Yeah. It's almost creeping into people's head that, hey, they're going to play really, really physical. And we may jump back into a zone that night, So
what I see is you've got a lot of girls with quick hands, right? They get into the passing lane. So they may not be bumping you. They may not be up in your grill so much as they have been in the past. Yeah. But the style of aggressive defense didn't go away.
Right.
And so getting in that passing lane, getting those steals, taking it to the other end, making those fast break buckets and things like that is a part of that defensive stop. Right. And when you can do that, it doesn't matter, or you can flip the switch and then all of a sudden you can get down in the post and bang with somebody as an Addison Dilworth can, or
Rakia Mitchell.
Definitely. And so it's a psyche thing, right? I as a guard am not going to drive the lane when I know that those two girls are down there and I'm fixing to potentially get my clock cleaned, right? And or the ball swatted, one or the other, and so I think 100% correct there. Coach, you guys start off on November 18th, Middleton at home Hall of Fame game. And the last thing, and not to turn it to boys basketball, but we've got the Allen Iverson Classic coming to Southside. It's going to be at the Hawks Nest this year. Big teams all over the country. The number 3 player from the state of Alabama, 20th, maybe in the 15th, 20th in the country, coming to Jackson, Tennessee, November 5th and 6th. And you guys are going to be in the Dynamics Hoop Fest. So you've got that's a big weekend because AD and head girls basketball coach, you've got to facilitate some things over there and go coach some basketball games. Right. But you guys got a great staff. Coach Devon Fuller and his crew are going to, I'm sure, take care of things at home, and you guys are going to be able to do what you need to do. But talk to us about that real quick. Coach may come in today. He's pouring concrete most likely.
You know how that goes.
But any warm, a sunny day in the fall, he's probably out pouring concrete. Right. But he was supposed to be here today, but nonetheless. But talk to us about that Allen Iverson Classic. How did that get to Southside?
The guy who puts it on, it's been at Bartlett for years, and Bartlett was like, hey, we're going to do something different this year. He was looking for a venue, and him and Coach Munn, they just started talking, and it just kind of fell in his lap. It was a little bit of miscommunication on both ends. It was supposed to be boys and girls, but by the time he had reached out to us, we were already in the Hoop Fest.
Right.
A Hoop Fest, we like it because it's always quality. We've played some really powerhouse teams in it, so we had already committed to it because he jumped on it as soon as the season ended last year. So really, Bobby just made the call. Coach Fuller agreed to it, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. So we're going to have some, I think the number 2 and 3 sophomores, and I guess what are that, 27, class of 27, will be in the house as well on their teams.
So
Grayson,
28, class, the sophomores, class 28.
And so, because we're going to be in 26 with this group.
That's right.
Man,
it's flying.
It's flying.
By.
It makes you think about life just a little more seriously, right?
Definitely.
A big weekend there on December 5th and 6th in Jackson, really, because we're going to have a ton of teams here, a ton of talent. And you talked about it just in USJ. I mean, you got one of the top probably 3, 4, 5 players in the nation.
Right.
And Halen Ayers just playing there already. Signed a huge deal with, I don't want to say huge deal. I don't know how much money it was, but signed
a nice
deal
with New Balance.
New Balance, and so congratulations to her. But just that's a psyche thing too. It's when you have a player on your team that has something like that, and you walk into another gym, everybody kind of stands up. Takes
kids like that. When they walk in, it's different. Regardless, and that's how. But that's how we approach every game. We try to tell our kids when we walk in, we want heads to turn. Right. So whether if it's how we're uniform, we're presentable. Try not to walk in goofing, joking, laugh. Like, let's walk in like we're ready to play. And our kids are excited about the challenges that's coming up. They're excited about it.
Yeah.
Just like JCM has 2 freshman post players that are going to be special. He's getting his guard back that he lost last year. And really, that was the head of the snake, honestly. She just directed everything. So getting her back would be huge for Coach Simmons. So there's some challenges all over that schedule.
Yeah.
And we know how that gym gets really loud. And
it's even tighter than the nest.
It is. So when we play over there, I remember last year nobody could hear me. Nobody on the floor. It was just so loud. But you like those atmospheres. You know, we like those underdog atmospheres. Sometimes it's exciting to go into. It prepares you for the region and going into unfamiliar territory.
Right.
So my kids are excited to get to play against Halen. A lot of them say, man, maybe some of those coaches will be there, and we can kind of show what we can do, So it's having those type of kids around here and playing those type of kids. You get an opportunity to put yourself on the landscape, and a lot of times, just like high school coaches talk, college coaches talk to one another. So may not be what this coach wants, but hey, I got a friend at this school, and they'll send out connections. You just never know. When you strap them up, lace them up, or whatever, go give it everything you got and see what happens after it.
Yeah, I know. Being absent from coaching now, I think this is my 3rd year of not coaching and doing sports broadcasting. I still get emails from coaches and say, hey, I got a so-and-so is looking for this. If you got a kid that is a pitcher in softball or a power forward in basketball, send them over here to so-and-so, and let them know. And you think kind of when a guy retires, you think, well, he's out of the game. But, because you're doing this, I actually see more and really evaluate more teams than I do just watching the film on the ones I'm playing, right? Because I see everybody. And so I get a lot more emails, a lot more phone calls now from coaches that just say, hey, what you got in your area? Is there anybody that we can come and watch, or can I send somebody down there to look at a point guard or a center fielder or whatever, and running back and I'm like, yeah, hey, we've got them. We got talent galore.
Definitely.
So it's really going to be interesting to watch basketball in Jackson. Boys and girls. I think we got a very deep, talented, young set of kids.
We do.
And so basketball could get real interesting around here for the next foreseeable future.
It could.
And it's going to be really exciting to see.
It is, and that's what we tell all our kids, like, let's go to work now, So November the 3rd, all of us will be super excited, be ready to go. You've supported everybody, try to make your school as presentable as possible in all your sports. You want to make sure that people know this team is this and this team, and it just turns into a snowball once your kids start to buy into what's being taught, and it goes from one sport to the next, and you get that excitement. We call it the Hawks Nest. We just in this Hawk Nation, like, we want us all to be one, so.
And it's good that football is having that success, right? It's gearing up the fans and the followers for, hey, we've already had a great football season, and a lot of success there. No matter how the season really turns out, I mean, you've already had that success, and that to watch the stands be full and then watch it bleed over into basketball. Man, it's going to be very exciting to watch.
Definitely.
Coach, we wish you much success, and as always, we'll probably do a boys and girls weekend like we did in the past, just because there's so many teams and so many coaches. Get everybody in here on a weekend. But any weekend that you're available, boys or girls, just slide on in here, bring some kids. I'd always love to talk about Hawk basketball. Last thing here, real quick, and I know you got some family things this morning. Coaching staff, AC, right-hand man, brother from another mother type thing.
Right.
I was going to be there, I'm sure, but any different new additions?
Yeah, we actually added one of our former players, Michaela Transu. She played for us, a graduate of 2019. Eventually actually left Southside out of high school and signed a scholarship to run track at TSU. Called midway through the year and was like, Coach, I just got an itch. I want to play basketball again. We called Jackson State. It was like, we'll take her, no questions asked. And when she left there, she was the defensive player of the year in the conference, you know. So we had a string at Jackson State 3 years in a row, defensive player of the year in the conference, all with Southside alone. Yeah. You know, with her and Lily Carlton and Tia Hyman, all three were products of Southside, and they went on to.
And Jackson State was loving every minute of it.
Every minute of it, you know. And she had a really great career. Finished up at Florida Memorial, and called and said, "I'm coming home. What can we do?" Got her into the school system, and it's gonna be good. And if you paid attention to Jackson as a whole, everybody picked up a female assistant on their coaching staff, you know. So, and that's big, because those young ladies can be in the locker room with them and can get a vibe from the team a little more than we can, because you know, they can walk out on the floor and fake it to us. It's hard to fake what you're saying in the locker room, you know. So we're excited to have her there. Give the kids a female point of view with us being two male coaches. Gives a different voice. So we're really excited about having Michaela.
100%. And very, very excited to have her back in Jackson.
Definitely.
And giving back to the community that she you know, played in front of and gave so much to. Yeah. And so it's going to be very exciting to watch her role as a Hawk coach instead of a Hawk player. Yeah. A little different. You know, she's going to have to.
She got to dress up now.
She's going to dress up.
She got to dress like me now. Yeah, so, and it's exciting.
All those times she made fun of you in that cardigan. Now she's going to put it on.
That's right. There you go.
Again, Coach, much success this year. Going to be very excited to watch you in a lot of these games and the Southside Lady Hawks. And we'll see you once the season starts, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break here. And when we come back, folks, we'll have Coach Lester Narcisse. We're just going to continue the Hawk Talk right now, and maybe that just needs to be the podcast from the Southside Gym, the Hawk Talk. But we'll be back in just a second, guys. Don't go away. The road you travel changes, so can your insurance needs. Talking with Farmers Insurance agent Jeremy Chandler can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. There's a reason the Jeremy Chandler Agency was voted Best Insurance Agency in VIP Magazine's Best in Jackson 2024. Give Jeremy a call today at 731-FARMERS and find out why. That's Jeremy Chandler at 731-327-6377 or contact him at 731farmers.com.
Hey y'all, this is Mary at Mulligan's. Come see us soon before the new wears off. Hard to believe, but we're coming upon an anniversary in our locally family-owned business at Union University Drive. We still have our daily lunch specials, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., which will remind you of Grandma's cooking. Or try our Irish dishes, fish and chips, Reuben's and shepherd's pie, or everyone's favorite, the Mully Burger. And how about brunch on Saturdays and Sundays? Yep, every weekend, serving Jackson for over 25 years. See you soon at Mulligan's.
Ever wonder what we do to keep the station cool around here with all this hot air? We use Milan Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company that takes pride in fast responses. They offer repair for HVAC maintenance, installations or replacements, services for water heaters, and airflow quality. Milan Heating and Air also offers financing with up to 12 months, no interest, no payment for those who qualify. Heating or cooling, residential or commercial, keeping the community and the station comfortable. Milan Heating and Air, your local Daikin dealer, 731-487-9211, or visit them online at milanheatingandair.com.
Get a seamless built-in look for your kitchen with a KitchenAid Flush Design dishwasher. With a panel-ready door and flush installation, this dishwasher fits evenly with countertops and cabinetry when installed in a standard cabinet depth of 24 inches. See how beautiful your kitchen can look at Kaufman's Home Furniture and Appliances, located at 2845 U.S. Highway 45 Bypass in Jackson, or call 731-664-0900.
Kaufman's. Relax. Your home.
In 1967, West Tennessee's first community college opened its doors. In the decades since, graduates have made a name for themselves as healthcare professionals, community leaders, business owners, veterans, educators, and so much more. With 3 generations of Jackson State graduates leading the way, the future has never looked brighter for West Tennessee. We are your community college. We are Jackson State. Learn what we're all about at jscc.edu.
Best One Tire of Jackson and Brownsville provides outstanding tire sales and service along with exceptional mechanical work to customers in Jackson and in Brownsville. Best One Tire provides commercial, industrial, OTR, and agricultural tires to West Tennessee with honest and courteous service. With trained professionals who perform a variety of auto repair and truck repair services to keep your vehicle running smoothly, including heavy-duty suspension work. Best One Tire of Jackson, 2690 Bells Highway. And Best One Tire of Brownsville at 1180 South Dupree Streets. BestOneOfJackson.com.
Welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live right here. Caddy Sports Club, Jackson, Tennessee. Hey, I'm sporting Nashville Soccer Club.
Yes,
they
sir.
bring the first gold professional championship to Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's hard to believe with the caliber of sports that and the athletes we've had over the years with the Tennessee Titans and the Grizzlies. To think that we've never won a professional championship as a state.
A yard short.
A yard short. I happened to be at that Super Bowl.
Really?
And
that was
it was
probably one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Man, to be honest.
And it was
greatest show on turf versus the Air McNair.
Yeah. That wow. What a performance on the field. But let's talk about another performance on the field because there was a pretty good one last night at the Nest and big turnout for senior night. Coach said 22. I thought I counted 19 or 20.
It was 19.
19 seniors. That's
yes,
what it was a big night, emotional night. But besides all of those emotions, and Coach and I have just broke it down as he's the AD for Southside. Besides those emotions, there's a reality beyond that football still can continue for these young men,
yes,
potentially for another almost a whole half of a season or more. If they just take care of business. But they had to start it last night against Hardin County. Hardin County showed up to play.
They did.
They're a tough physical team. And the first half was a dogfight. But your team's successful in the end. Coach, tell us about your team last night.
Well, those seniors did not want to end their season with a loss or, being on the last opportunity to be on their home field. And they didn't go the way they wanted it early, and then they fought back and just persevered and got to the other side. And it was a good thing to see. Bunch of tears on that field last night. Just those young men giving and their time and over the years, and blood, sweat, and tears is what we call it, and they've been given that, and it's good to see that they're setting a foundation and building something for this program, and that's what we kind of stress with them.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to beyond coaching the game, you've got a set of kids, and we've talked about this a lot. You're always putting your apples in the basket of some 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. But these 17 and 18-year-olds, these young men that are graduating from your program, are setting a foundation for what is to come. They're setting the expectation. They're setting that. And right now, under the leadership and the direction of you as the head coach and your coaching staff, you guys have really started to pave a super highway, I think, there in South Jackson, because things seem to be really clicking right. And when adversity hits, like it did in the first half, some big time penalties. At one point, you guys, I think, were first and 45, it was whatever that fiasco was, and
rough.
It was rough, yeah, 100%. But it was, you fought through that, and in the end, you guys found a way to answer every time Hardin County came to the plate. They hit a home run ball. You guys came right back, hit a home run ball yourself, and just really that adversity. What did you learn about your team last night? Because Hardin County, they're out of it. I mean, in reality, they were out coming into that game. They have no chance for the playoffs. But they could have spoiled things for Southside last night.
And that's kind of what I was evaluating my team. I was like, bro, they have scored at least 21 on everybody that they've played. Every team that Northside, the Hardin County, the Dyer counties, I was like, they have put up points and did what they wanted to do. I said they just had some unfortunate mistakes, and they're in that position. I thought against Chester they played well. It's just they were, on the losing end of that. So it's just, and they're gonna be well coached. I mean, I've never seen a Hardin County team that hasn't been well coached, and I think I've been around them since probably '09. So they've always had a solid program. You're gonna have a couple of guarantees. They're gonna have a quarterback, a running back, and a good wide out for you. And they consistently do that on year in, year out.
Yeah, definitely. They've 2 years ago just state runner-ups,
right?
So they know success. They
do.
Know the way, and it seems like to me they're always one of the toughest teams because when you get hit, you realize that you've been hit.
They are a physical football team.
Yeah, 100%. And Coach, talk to us about the play of your quarterback. He seemed to struggle just a little bit, some underthrown balls, but in the end, he two potentially 3 picks that didn't happen because they just dropped the ball. But,
right. We hit somebody in the chest.
Yeah. But he didn't get frazzled from those opportunities, and in the second half really came out and settled down and led your team.
And some of that I'm gonna put on us as far as play calling goes. Not the right formation, not the look that you want to get out of it, and we putting him in a bad situation by doing that. And we talked about that last night as a staff, and just trying to we have to clean things up when it comes to that, especially on those crucial third downs and things like that. So just trying to get better with the players and as us. So, but I would take 2 of those throws back and put that all on us versus him. He's just throwing the ball that we asking him to go and deliver.
Yeah. I think one of the things that, as the second half went on, when that read wasn't there, he found a way to find somebody different, or maybe make a better decision and not forcing that. Not to say that all your calls are predetermined, but he found ways to make the second read or the third read the right read.
Right, and he's been struggling with that some, but they played us different in the first half and the second half. The first half they played the coverage, stayed over the top, so it really wasn't there. They may have locked up the backside and trips a couple of times in the first half. But for the most part, in the second half, they just loaded the box and said we can't allow them to run the ball. And that's why the passing game kind of picked up in the second half based on and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't have done that earlier based on the athletes we have outside. So that's on us.
Yeah. And that's, that's the chess piece, right?
Correct.
You gotta figure those things out quick. It's you don't know them before the game starts, but you got to figure it out quick and make those adjustments, and that's why they give you a halftime to do that.
And that's why Hardin County is a good team offensively. I mean, they can jump in the I-back 22 set all the way to empty with the same personnel, and that does put a strain on defenses at times.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, talk about your defense. You guys had 2, maybe 3 fourth down turnovers on downs against Hardin County, making some big stops,
strip fumble, interception.
The interception there.
Drop one.
And of course, that ball was right in his fingertips as soon as he turned around. So, but yeah, he played a heck of a game last night. Co-MVP for the game. Him and Braden Weldon. Another kind of prolific night for Weldon there in the backfield, and wow, when he hits the corner, we'll talk about that defense first, but when he hits the corner, if you're not getting a hand on him, he's going to be gone before you know it.
He's special. I mean, he's gifted. Well, what separates him from any other running back on our team is also his vision. So that's what goes underrated about him, about the speed. Everybody just think he hits the crease and go, but it's about the hole that he chooses to go into to set himself up to be free. And we can get the other 2 backs to kind of mimic that, we're going to be all right there.
Yeah, so. Most definitely. But what about that defense? You guys really stood up to a Hardin County that didn't lay down at any point in the game.
We told our kids that. Yeah. They're not. They don't. You can turn on every film. In the fourth quarter, these guys are playing hard. They are not a team that rolls over. It's not in their DNA. So with the hoopla, with the senior night, the truck festival and all that stuff, it's just we got to do a better job of getting them back down and focused before we actually get back out there. It's something I need to figure out soon, so we can't allow that to happen.
Well, the good news is there's no festivities for
Thank
the Hawks
you.
for the rest of the year,
Yeah.
right? And so
Well, it may be if we're in the third round of playoffs now.
well, if you're there, it's warranted, obviously. But 2 road games left for
Yes, sir.
Southside. Dyer County next week, and then a team who was sitting at top of the region now finding themselves potentially in a tie for being left out of the region. No other way to say it as right now, Crockett, Northside, Dyer County, Lexington, and you all are sitting there tied for 2nd through 50th place. It seems like they're in Class 4A.
2 to 6 seed is 3 and 2.
Yeah, and so a team that we didn't think was going to make some noise because of their losses early in the season now finds themselves sitting at the top of the region, and that's South Gibson.
Yes, sir.
You guys have that win over South Gibson, and so that's a feather in your hat when it comes down to this tiebreaker rule and all.
If
of
they
these.
was in the 3-2, it might be, but we're sitting at 1. I don't know if that benefits us.
Well, the win last night benefits you because then it comes down to those opponent wins and
Trying to get those.
500s and all of those. Let's just pull something out of the hat. Oh, okay, this is our fortune cookie tiebreaker.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the way. It's no longer simplified. It seems like it's gotten very confusing. But nonetheless, they win a ball game. That puts them closer to that 500 mark, which gives you guys another feather in your hat. And so having that win. But again, it comes down to Southside just taking care of business, right?
Yes, sir.
It's no longer
Yes, sir.
about
No, our playoffs start Monday.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's what it is. So we in a playoff game to be able to play the next week. And that's how we're going to approach it this week and go from there.
What about Dyer County? What preparation? What changes to the plan without giving it away? Because we don't want Dyer County to listen to the program.
I mean, they're good. I'm watching film last night and this morning. They are a good football team that has a quarterback that can distribute it and make great decisions on their RPOs. They have some athletes outside that do the home run hits and can go. I don't know his name yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to blast it for our kids and say we got to stop this young man. But they're a really solid football team, and it's going to be a tough task for us to go down in there and get it done.
Yeah, as you said, they took a couple big losses here mid-season, but they seem to be back on track and playing a very tough USJ team last night, getting that win.
That was
They're making a defensive stand there on the 2-point conversion that could end up losing that game for them. But in a non-region opponent, so it doesn't hurt in the region. But just for the psyche,
confidence, they're going
boost. Yeah. But a big confidence boost, I think, for the Hawks last night. To come out defensively and make the stand. I think right now, that confidence on defense is that you guys could step on the field and play with anybody within the region and maybe within the state.
Yeah, we can play well. We just can't give up the big plays, and that's what this season was about defensively. Is bend but don't break, force people to drive on us, let them make the mistake, and we still giving up that one big play a game, and it's going to come back to haunt us. So that's kind of what we're trying to fight against right now.
Yeah. The 2-point conversion, or of course the missed field goal and then the 2-point conversion, you guys get that back later on in with the defense,
yeah,
right?
with
The
safety.
safety.
Yeah, great punt by Gavin, the quarterback, and put him on the 3, and that's kind of where that got started. So that's an opportunity for us, and Greg Green got this opportunity to go off the edge where he finally went for me. I was like, but so it was good.
Yeah, and really that started with the quarterback's punt, right?
Yes, sir.
So Stewart putting that inside the 3 there. And you know that what we call
All
in
three
golf,
phases.
that chip punt. You
Oh,
know,
it was
that-
beautiful.
It was
Beautiful.
beautiful. It couldn't have asked for anything better than on the one, but it worked out just like it was supposed to. And then other than and you preach this day in and day out, you've got to take care of what Southside can take care of, and that's the mental mistakes and the physical
penalties.
mistakes, the penalties that come along with that, right? And the offensive pass interference that also led to a unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's the first offensive pass interference I've seen this year.
I was going to say, I'm not sure. I've called a lot of football, and I've seen a lot of football. I'm not sure that I've seen one all year long. Now,
First
I will
one.
say this. I'm sitting up there looking at it. You've probably seen the film and seen it a little bit. There was some pushing by both guys.
Correct.
Right? So,
Like, he had
I
a guy
mean,
running into him. The ball's coming back, so he's just trying to move to get back to the ball.
And you know, I guess if you're the offensive guy and you put your hands on the inside and you touch that defender, maybe they're going to call it. But yeah, that's a call I haven't seen all year. Not criticizing the officials.
No.
and
I
whatnot,
mean, he put
but-
his hands on him, but they were both jockeying for it, and it's all.
Yeah.
It was pass interference.
It was pass interference. And then in the second half, it was you know, like 3 pass interference calls in a row against Hardin County. So maybe you got that back.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that was that kid that young man did a great job of saving some touchdowns.
yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, and that's
that's what you're
if
supposed
you're
to.
going to give up the touchdown, you might as well tackle him.
Yeah.
I'd rather give up 15 than give up the touchdown.
That was a great job by
Yeah.
him. Very savvy, smart individual right there.
Coach, what do you tell your team Monday that's any different than what you've told them this past week, getting ready for Dyer County and knowing that, again, you've got to definitely win one of these next two, potentially both of them, to get in the playoffs. What is the message to your team Monday morning?
Just a sharper focus, attention to detail this week, knowing exactly where you're supposed to be. Don't get misaligned, and just playing physical football. Let it go. We're going to be aggressive. This is our Super Bowl coming up. We're not going to hold anything back, and we're just going to go from there.
Most definitely. Got to give a big shout out to Mama Narcisse. The candy's all gone. I forgot to bowl again, Coach.
Nah,
I'm
you
sorry.
good. That's yours.
And that may just go on the trophy case as a reminder of what may come in the mail sometime down the road.
Oh, yeah. She got you. She got you.
But I will say this. I might have had to go to the doctor and get my sugar checked because, wow, it was.
Well, in Louisiana, they gonna put the butter and the sugar in, and they're not worried about calories.
And
I'm
it
gonna say
was
that.
fabulous. I'll just say this: as somebody who has lost 100 pounds over the last year and a half, that candy was hit the spot.
It's rich.
And it was rich. And my wife, who is diabetic, had a bite, and she's like, "If I have another bite of this, you might be taking me to the hospital." And then I find her in the middle of the night in there nibbling when her sugar's low. And she's like, "Well, this is going to get me there. It's gonna get me there." And I was like, "I told you." Everybody has raved about it. Mama Narcisse's pecan candy. I'm just telling you this. If she's ready to start a online store, I will have the website built tomorrow. We'll sell that stuff and make a mint because it is good. Pecans are my favorite, and of course, sugar and flavorings is just everybody's favorite. So fabulous! Can't wait to maybe make that trip down to Louisiana. And
I saw the LSU jersey a minute ago.
Yeah,
so,
big game, LSU and
Bandit,
Vanderbilt. That was close. You're in the playoff race yourself, and I thought maybe you might try to sneak off to Nashville if you could.
Nah, it's my season first.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
after that, then we could decide what.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, you're in that playoff push, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
This is it.
Every minute, every film
the day,
session
yes.
is going to be focused on beating Dyer County and the next opponent for the Hawks.
I'm just hoping I would get a chance to watch a few minutes of it.
Yeah.
So,
We talked with Coach Brett McNeil, who's the athletic director there at
Yes, sir.
Southside, and big praises for the program this year and the way things are going, and really sets a tone for how athletics may be going for Southside this year when the football team comes out and has this type of success. And no matter how the season ends, whether you make the playoffs or not, and I understand you and the team, that's a different thought process, but the team has had success. They're building a legacy this year, these seniors, and that's going to breed into the school, and a lot of other teams are going to build off of that success. And I think it's a huge thing for Southside, and it's nice that the AD comes in and recognizes that, hey, this is going to give us a boost and make things happen. You guys got a lot of things going on. We talked about the Iverson Classic that's coming to the Hawks Nest there. It's going to be a showcase from guys all over the nation coming into to Jackson, Tennessee, and it's going to be a good thing for Jackson and Southside to put again their name on the map. And so much success for you guys this year. Congratulations on the big win last night, and you guys Dyer County on the road this week, Friday night, and then the following week. I'm going to make sure everybody knows this. That's a Thursday night game.
Thursday night
at Crockett County.
That is correct.
And so that game is very well the Super Bowl of
this is it.
The Hawks. You got to have these at least one of these last two, and then hope somebody.
We got to take care of our business and let the chips fall where they may.
Right. And in this classification, I said it's going to be a travesty that somebody is going to be sitting at the house in 2 weeks on a Friday night, because the season for this region most likely will be over on Thursday. Most everybody plays by then. Mm-hmm. On Friday night, there's going to be two teams sitting at home going, man, we just missed the playoffs because of a coin flip or a tiebreaker that, and two of those teams potentially could have been 1 and 2 in another region.
Right.
To me, that's a travesty of football. But it also makes for an very exciting to talk about this, but also to go to these games and go, hey, we're going to see the best of the best right here, because they have to win.
It's going to be like this for a while, it looks like. So,
yeah, very exciting. Big senior night, 19 seniors on the team. And, Coach, talk about those seniors before we exit here, and just what they mean to your guys' program and what they've done to help build this success.
And when we first came in with Ricarius and Stokes and Elder was a bunch of our leaders there, just trying to set a foundation for what we were trying to do at Southside, and they were laying the foundation. And now I think with this class, it was about the expectation of what we thought we were, and they're living up to that, because I do believe they're a playoff football team. I do think when we get in the playoffs, it's a 0-0 record. We have an opportunity to do whatever we need, and they're talented enough kids to be able to do that. And I just want them to be able to see that success, not just for football, but for life. Like, the hard work that you put into something, I don't want them to fail and not get their reward for it, just to, prove it to them that it does work.
Yeah, most definitely. And a lot of good young men and a young lady on your team.
Yes. Man, Talia, I hugged her last night and told her I loved her, and she was my first. So she's the first lady, female on any football team that I've been a part of.
Yeah.
And when I tell you she's done a great job, she's done every weight room, every circuit, every county fair. Whatever we asked, she got in there and did it. And, I was reluctant at first just because, and but she has really been a value to this football team. And I don't mean just by GPA, because she's a 4.0 student. She helps us with that. But she's and the guys love her, so it's been a good thing.
Yeah, and it really takes. I mean, you think about football and the hard knocks of getting in, and she plays the line position.
Yeah.
To get in there and bruise with these guys every play, that she gets in. It takes a special young lady to do that. I had a young lady that played for me that was a kicker, a little bit different.
Right.
Rarely ever getting touched, but the mental focus and the all of the things that come with being a kicker. She was very successful. Kicked a 46-yard field goal in a game. I mean, to be able to do that is for a guy that's difficult.
That's awesome.
And so, but for this young lady to get in and play in the trenches and to have this success and to earn the respect of the team, congratulations to her, and big hats off to her as well. Coach, appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
Much success again for the rest of the season. And, at this point, it's on. It's on. I'm going to break down the brackets here in a minute, and it's going to make my head hurt to even think about how this is going to potentially play out. But very exciting here in West Tennessee that we have so many teams, that we have such high quality caliber football. Sometimes you like to see a blowout, against the one you hate the most. You just want them to lose by 100. But everything else, you want to see a good game. And we've been really
that's what it's been. So.
Seen a lot of them this year, all the way across the board. Very exciting. Coach, appreciate you.
Thank
you.
Have
a
a
great
great
weekend.
Yes,
and
sir.
we'll see you next week against Dyer County, the Choctaws in Dyer County, and Coach Lester Narcisse. Hey, we're going to step away for a quick break. When we come back, let's dive into the scores last night and break those things down. Big win for the Hawks, and we'll break those things down and more. We'll see if we can maybe get some folks on the phone this morning. I'm going to reach out and maybe try to get Hayden Williams, head coach of the Humboldt Vikings, on. They get a big win in 1A football over Lake County last night, and I'm sure that he's got lots to say about his team. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Planning your financial future can be a daunting task. With all the things you want to achieve, how do you prepare so your money will go the distance? Here's some advice that may help. Why not talk to your local Woodman Life representative? They can answer all your questions, and together you can fill out a free needs analysis to help identify your short and long-term financial goals. Our representative can then recommend insurance and annuity solutions to help make your financial future safe and secure, so that all those things you want to achieve remain firmly in your sights.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bonifer, your local Woodman Life representative. Did you know that the life insurance you have through work may not be there for you if you change jobs? Call me at 731-423-4784 to discuss your options for protecting your family's financial future.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Hey there, you pizza lovers. When it comes to the perfect pizza, Jet's Pizza is in a league of their own. Our dough is made fresh every morning, hand-pressed with care, and baked to absolute perfection. We believe in the art of crafting pizza, slicing veggies by hand, and mixing ripe tomatoes with a blend of tantalizing spices. You haven't experienced pizza until you've tried our famous Detroit-style deep dish pizza. With 2 locations in Jackson, call 731-300-7992 to get your Jet's Pizza now. We're also looking for delivery drivers with flexible schedules. Join our team and spread joy with every delicious delivery. Jet's Pizza in Jackson.
All the recent weather events has me wondering of ways to protect my home and my family in the event of an emergency or power outage. I can't imagine being without power.
At Lindsay Electric, family means everything. A generator installed by the factory-trained team at Lindsay Electric is the best solution for your family in any emergency.
So what's my next move?
Call Lindsay Electric today for a free consultation at 731-423-1580.
Hi, I'm Kobe Lindsay. At Lindsay Electric, it's not just a generator, it's a power move.
Is it a coincidence that the Titans play in the American Football Conference and there's an American Motors location on North Highland in Jackson? We think not. With a vast selection of off-road vehicles and street machines to fit every budget and lifestyle. There may be pressure on the field, but you will never be pressured at American Motors on North Highland in Jackson. Call 554-5000. Visit AmericanMotorsOfJackson.com. American Motors. Shop local, buy American, and go Titans.
Now open Tai Chi Bubble Tea, a new restaurant experience in Jackson with an inviting ambience like no other. You can enjoy a comfortable, family-friendly atmosphere while going through Tai Chi's extensive drink menu and deciding between their sushi menu, Tai Chi rice box, or ramen menu. You're invited to come see for yourself so you can tell all your friends and come back for more. Come and experience Tai Chi Bubble Tea, Jackson's newest place to meet and greet. 8th Stonebridge, down from Aldi.
Welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live right here at Caddy Sports Club in Jackson, Tennessee. 601 Van Drive. Come out today and get your golf on. It's a beautiful day outside. I know you're going to be out on a golf course, but hey, when the golfing is over and you need to work on those chips and putts, come on over here to Caddies and get your chipping action on. And in the confines of the cozy interior of the air conditioning and the food and beverages here at Caddy's Sports Club. Let's get into the scores from last night, because we're going to start trying to break down and understand how these regions are set up, and the standings. We'll fly through 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if there were that many. And then we'll get to Region 4A, or Region 7 Class 4A, and you can see I'm rubbing my head because it just makes my head hurt. I spent an hour with Coach Lowe, probably, or close to it, looking at this stuff, and wow, I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. I understand it, but I just don't understand it. We're going to talk more about it today and look at that. We may get some folks on the phone here as well, and see if we can make a better understanding of this here shortly. But let's run down the scores from last night, because that's where we need to start. Region 5, Laredo, 2-6 on the season now. They lost to Adamsville, who is 5-3, 35-7. A big win for Adamsville there. Adamsville trying to make a push in that region. Decatur County Riverside, they are 2-6 now. They get the 39-0 victory over Scotts Hill. And let's go ahead and get Hayden on the phone here. We'll talk with him first and foremost. Then we'll finish running these scores down, because a big win for the Humboldt Vikings on the road last night, and we wanted to make sure that we have this conversation.
Hello.
Coach Williams, how you doing, sir? Sports Talk Live here with the coach. Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can now. Can you hear me? We'll try this once again.
Hello.
Good morning, Coach. Coach Stratton with Sports Talk Live. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
How are you?
Very good. Hey, I'm doing great, man. How are you today?
Oh, man, I'm doing fantastic.
I bet you guys get a big win last night in Lake County, a 47-42 victory over Lake County last night, and looking at those scores throughout the night, you guys, it was a back and forth ball game, but at the end, you guys pulled it out. Tell us about your team last night.
Absolutely, man. Just really proud of that group of guys. They came back fighting. 2 weeks ago we lost a heartbreaker to Greenfield, 50-48. Came down to the wire, same as it did last night with Lake County, and things fell our way last night, and man, just the fight they had offensively. We put up, 650 yards of offense. Defensively, we came up with some real timely stops when we needed them most, and that's the biggest thing. Is like I said, they just came to fight.
Yeah, when you got a team that's not willing to back down and willing to go to battle, that's a team that you can be excited about. You talked about that offense. last night, 600 plus yards. Tell us about who stood out for you guys, and obviously I would assume here multiple players that stood out for you on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, absolutely. It all started with our quarterback, K.D. Taylor. He went 20 for 28 with 548 yards, had 4 rushes for 46 yards added on. He threw 6 touchdowns. We'll move to our running back, Jeremiah Jones. Didn't carry the ball too much because we were having a lot of success through the air. 9 carries for about 50 yards. He had a rushing touchdown. But he was a big part of that receiving game, too, with 4 catches for 180 and a touchdown as well, including a 96-yard touchdown catch. Moved to our wide receivers. We had Tyon Campbell, who had 7 catches for 227 and 3 touchdowns. And then Darian Taylor, he came up big for us defensively as well in the passing game. He had 4 catches for about 82 yards and a touchdown as well. So, we spread the ball out pretty well last night, and everyone was clicking.
Yeah, you guys sit right now 2-3 in region, 7 Class 1A, just outside of the playoffs, but you have a region game left with Gleason, and Gleason right now sits in the 3rd spot. So they have 2 games left in the region. They have Greenfield and you all, Greenfield to kind of finish up the year. That will probably be for a playoff spot if you guys can get past Gleason next week. And then it's going to take a little bit of a flip of a coin, a winning record. I don't know how these playoffs are it just makes my head hurt to even think about how a team could get in. But here we find, much like Class 4A, where we've got a 5-way tie for 5 places, or for the remaining 3 places in 4A. We've got right now 3 teams, maybe 4 teams that are looking to get those last 2 spots in Single A in Region 7.
Absolutely. And, you just got to handle what we can handle, We got to control what we can control, and that's next week with our homecoming game against Gleason, Like I said, there's going to be 4 teams vying for those final 2 spots and kind of all beating up on each other these past few weeks. You have Lake County, they upset South Fulton, last week. Greenfield beat us by 2 weeks prior. We beat Lake County last night, so it's just kind of going back and forth, and things play out how they're looking like they're going to play out. We're going to be falling into the same tiebreaker stuff as 4A is.
Yeah, it appears right now that you obviously have to beat Gleason to be in the talk here, and then Gleason really needs to be beaten by Greenfield, and then Greenfield needs to beat Lake County as well, and Lake County probably a game that they can potentially keep compete in is that Greenfield game, but I think they will lose to Dresden. So here is a Lake County team that was sitting almost tied for the top of the region there at one point. Now may find themselves out, and it just, again, it makes my head hurt to think that we've got 2 or 3 teams here like a Greenfield or a Humboldt or a Lake County that could be vying for a region championship if the region were split up a little more evenly, and they're going to be sitting at home. And we talk about West Carroll, who's had much success over the last few years, down a little bit this year, but it's going to be somebody on the outside looking in that potentially could go win a state championship.
Absolutely. And like I said, we got Gleason, who's in there as well. They beat Lake County a few weeks ago. So, it's from top to bottom, it's been a competitive region all year, and I expect it to stay that way. I think Dresden will take care of Lake County, but Lake County and Greenfield, they'll match up really well against each other. That'll be a good game. Both those guys do a great job with the players they have and, getting them ready to go week in and week out. So it's just, we got to take care of what we can take care of and hope things fall in our favor.
Yeah, it comes back down to those 2 ball games there. One against Greenfield, a 2-point loss. That could be a tough one to swallow there, knowing that potentially that game and then the game against Gleason would have given you guys a much better advantage. But you can't be more proud of your team than what it was last night, fighting through adversity against a very good Lake County team. 600 plus yards of offense, and building some momentum for success in the future. Like I said, just can't be more proud of the Humboldt Vikings.
Absolutely. I'm stoked. I'm super happy for my guys. That's Humboldt's first win against Lake County since 2016. So just the fight they had, top to bottom. We had a lot of guys who hadn't played a lot this year step up last night. We've had a few injuries throughout the course of the year. So guys that we didn't necessarily think we'd be counting on to play a lot this year have really had to step up for us. And man, like I said, I couldn't be more proud of these guys.
Most definitely. Coach, appreciate you taking the call this morning and talking about your team. We're going to continue to look at this region and break it down as we break down scores. But whoever this is kind of like algebra to me. Whoever came up with this playoff scenario needs to be taken to the woodshed and paddled very well, because it's making my head hurt, kind of like algebra did back in high school. And I just wow, yeah, it's going to be very exciting the last couple weeks here in West Tennessee to see who makes and doesn't make it. But that's what makes football exciting, when you have this caliber of programs that are competing week in and week out, and somebody has to go beat a really good team to make it to the playoffs. You, as a head coach, I would assume that you wouldn't want it any other way.
Oh, absolutely. It's, that's what makes it exciting, like you said. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. You're hoping you get to late October fighting for a chance to make the playoff. You don't want to get to this point and be out of it or anything like that. So, I mean, this is all you can really ask for as a coach is, seeing your guys still fighting through the end and having that chance to go earn what their goals were to start the year.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck next week. You guys got Gleason. And then who do you finish up with the last week of the season?
Lakeland Prep.
Okay. So non-region game there to finish up the season. And so next week is kind of the Super Bowl for Humboldt. Got to beat Gleason, and then some things have got to happen for Gleason for Humboldt to potentially make the playoffs. And it's a scenario again. I don't want to think about, but I've got to. So appreciate you taking the call this morning. Congratulations on the big win over Lake County last night. We wish you much success next week against Gleason.
Appreciate you, Coach. Go Vikings.
All right, Coach Hayden Williams of the Humboldt Vikings taking our call this morning. We appreciate him taking that call and talking about Humboldt there. And we're going to see if we can also get Stephen Weeks on. Of the Gridiron Blitz this morning. We'll talk to him as well. But let's look at this breakdown. Now, actually, let's get back to the scores first and foremost, because we've got to look at what happened last night to even understand potentially what is going to happen in this in these region matchups. And so let's continue to look at what the scores were last night. Region 7. We'll go actually back up to Region 6 and look at Camden Central losing to Fairview last night, 36-42. And again, these are teams that we'll see in the playoffs around West Tennessee. Brentwood beats Franklin 21-14. Hendersonville 37-36 over Station Camp. Station Camp is one of those teams that I believe was in the talks for region or Class 5A. They are a 5A team, not a 4A team like we saw them last year. The Station Camp Buffaloes, or Bison, excuse me, not Buffaloes. East Nashville, we saw them take on Westview last year, and they have moved up to Class 4A, and they win last night over Hickman County. They're 3-4 on the season. That was a 41-3 ball game there. McEwen now 5-2 on the season, 20-14 win over Perry County. Shelbyville, a team that was being talked about as being in the running for Class 4A. They take a 45-14 loss to Ravenwood. Ravenwood is 8-0 on the season. Waverly 8-0 on the season. They beat Stewart County 34-0. Stewart County falls to 1-7. White House 4-4. They beat Liberty Creek, who is now 2-6, 35-14. Now getting into Region 7, some teams a little closer here to our Jackson region. Cordova beats FACS 34-27. Cordova now 2-6. Dyersburg and Covington took on each other last night in Covington, and what a big win for Covington there in Class 3A, because now Covington will come down to Westview on Thursday night. I do believe we're going to make that trip back to Westview High School and watch that game on a Thursday night, as Covington will roll into Westview, most likely undefeated. Westview will have to play Dyersburg next week before they take on the Covington Chargers. It'll be a battle of the Chargers at the View, at UTM. And what a night that is going to be. You better get there early if you're going to watch it. Probably the game of the night, Dyer County, now 6-2, taking on USJ, now 7-1. The undefeated Bruins go into Dyer County and fail the 2-point conversion at the end of the game. What a defensive stop for the Choctaws to get the 27-26 victory over USJ, the non-region win. And that matters in this region that they're in, because Dyer County is tied with Northside, Lexington, Crockett County, and Southside now for the region record of 3-2. And this is going to be a big win for Dyer County to improve to 6-2, and that overall record will matter, and then their opponents' records will matter. USJ 7-1 now. That's a great record for an opponent team when you're looking at basically the coin flip. If your opponent's records aren't very good. So Milan, they advance in their region, now 8-0 on the season, and they will have a couple games left here, one against potentially an undefeated Peabody on Halloween night. It's going to get scary, and Milan will probably be there as well. It is Milan beating Halls 37-0. Halls falls to 2-6. We'll see Halls that last night, I do believe, against, and I think that's a Thursday night game, but that's against USJ. Not USJ. Too many three-letter terms here. JCM. And JCM will have to beat Union City next week and Halls to have a chance at the playoffs. And again, there's 2A. We're talking about having to win and beating teams head-to-head, and the ties right now. I mean, it's scary to think, as Halloween approaches, it's scary to think that we could have some teams sitting at the house that should be playing in the playoffs because they're that good, but they're just left out. Jackson Central Mary, JCM, gets the 40-0 victory over Liberty. Liberty started out 4-0. Now they're 4-4. Don't let that confuse you, folks. That is a huge victory for Liberty after going winless for nearly 5 years. They are 4-4, potentially could finish out 500 on the season, and a big success for Coach Gillard and the Liberty Tech Crusaders. Jackson Northside 21, Giles County 47. Northside at homecoming. Not sure who picked this team for homecoming. No, actually, I'm not not trying to get on Coach Lowe, but the way these coin flips, the way the tiebreakers are set up, you better have a team that is going to have a good record in the end. And Giles County is one of those teams that's going to be above 500. They take the loss last night. They're 5-3, so they're going to have to do some damage control here towards the end of the season to make the playoffs. But they are another one of those teams in 4A that sits at 3-2 in the region play. And they got a 47-21 loss last night, so they're going to have to win out to make that happen. One of those games will be against a team last night that we'll talk about here in just a second that is making some noise, making some moves in Class 4A Region 7. Another game last night, we already talked to this head coach, Southside, Coach Lester Narcisse. They get a 35-20 victory over Hardin County. Hardin County didn't want to go away, but Southside's defense just too much. And then Braden Weldon out of the backfield made some very impressive moves. 77 75 yards to the house, another 62 yards to the house. Two big plays, 130-plus yards, 140 yards on two plays for Weldon out of the backfield. A big night for Weldon and the Southside Hawks. They get the win 5-3, and they are also 3-2 in Region 7 Class 4A. It's going to be pandemonium coming down to the end here. Humboldt gets that huge win. We just talked to Coach Williams there from Humboldt High School. They get a big win over Lake County, keeping their hopes alive, 47-42. That was in Lake County. What a huge victory for the Humboldt Vikings. Lexington, another victory. Coach Carr got that team rolling in Lexington. They are 6-2, 37-28 over Lewis County. They are also 3-2 in the region. Another dogfight. McNary Central, they get a win over region opponent Ripley. They potentially are going to be fighting for that fourth spot in Class 3A because I'm going to assume that right now, we're not going to look at it, but they are sitting in that fourth spot, one spot ahead of Obion, maybe. Maybe they're tied with Obion in the region. I'm not quite sure, but McNary Central trying to get into the playoffs and man, again, making my head hurt. 28-22, the score in South Fulton as a non-region opponent. South Fulton takes on Obion County. Obion County 4-4 on the season. South Fulton improves to 7-1. And I believe that one loss is in the region. South Gibson, the team that I just said we'll talk about. South Gibson gets the 24-14 victory over Crockett County. I thought Crockett County might go undefeated the rest of the season. They fall to the Hornets of South Gibson. A big win in Region 7 Class 4A for South Gibson. Union City gets the victory over Gibson County. Union City 48, Gibson County 0. We'll look at the region breakdown in that. Let's move up to Region 8 before we take our next break. Haywood gets the 42-40 victory over Memphis Business. I do believe that was a region win for them. Big win for Coach Puckett and the Haywood Tomcats there at home versus the Memphis Business Academy. Manassas 26, Booker T. Washington 20. Both of those teams struggling to find wins, and Manassas gets the win there at Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington 0-8. Mumford now 8-0 on the season, 39-7 over Brighton. Oak Haven 40, Kip 20. Kip is a team we'll see in Class 4A out of that Class 8 region in the playoffs potentially. Ridgeway 8, Craigmont 6. I guess they're playing baseball early in the fall, but Ridgeway 1-7 on the season. They get an 8-6 victory over Craigmont at home. Tresvant gets the forfeit win. It was 1-0. Another baseball score here in the fall. Tresvant gets the forfeit victory over Sheffield Sheffield now 0-8 on the season. Germantown 22, White Station 12. Germantown now 7-1 on the season. They get the big win there at White Station. Bolton 4-4 on the season now, 25-0 over 4-4 Wooddale. In the private sector Division II, our middle region teams that we'll see potentially over here, Nashville Christian gets the basketball score 70-0 over Columbia Academy. That's an 8-0 Nashville Christian team. We'll see them in the playoffs down the road. Jackson Christian 7-1 on the season. Looking forward to this game as well, as Jackson Christian will come down to a Friday night ball game against USJ, 48-13 over Hardin Academy. North Point Christian gets the 27-21 victory over Evangelical Christian, and Lausanne 42, St. Benedict's 7. And St. George's was off. That's another team we'll be watching here in the ranks of Division II. Guys, we're going to step away for just a quick minute. And when we come back, let's look at how these regions break down and look at these teams in Region 7 and Region 8 and we'll look at Region potentially 5 and 6 a little bit as well. Because these are teams that we'll see in the pods as we have this new playoff scenario of pod breakdowns as well as folks within your own region. I'm just excited to talk about football here in West Tennessee because this is the most wonderful time of the year. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes.
Planning your financial future can be a daunting task. With all the things you want to achieve, how do you prepare so your money will go the distance? Here's some advice that may help. Why not talk to your local Woodman Life representative? They can answer all your questions, and together you can fill out a free needs analysis to help identify your short and long-term financial goals. Our representative can then recommend insurance and annuity solutions to help make your financial future safe and secure, so that all those things you want to achieve remain firmly in your sights.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bonifer, your local Woodman Life representative. Did you know that the life insurance you have through work may not be there for you if you change jobs? Call me at 731-423-4784 to discuss your options for protecting your family's financial future.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T, right here at Caddy Sports Club, 601 Van Drive. And Caddy Sports Club has teamed up with Sports 731 Sports Bar and Grill. And Caddy's, or the 731 menu now coming to Caddies. You can get all your favorites from 731 Sports Bar and Grill. And very, very excited for that menu as well. Hey, let's continue to talk about football, and I want to appreciate all of our basketball coaches that have made their way in. We're going to be talking with Coach Niven over at Union this week. Most likely we'll be doing an interview with him. We'll post that on our Talking Sports West Tennessee Facebook page, as well as our website. Make sure that you check that out and give some shout out to our basketball programs as basketball starts to heat up here in West Tennessee. The college is already rolling. I'm gonna be honest with you. I dropped the ball there because I thought we had another week or two before that happens, but nope, they play next week, and so we'll be getting some interviews out on them over the course of the next couple weeks as well. So let's continue here with our football talk this morning because it's crazy to even think. So TWSAA, when they posted this information about the playoffs, they talked about making sure that every possible school having a region game the final week of the regular season, which makes it very exciting. I'm happy about that. And then also on that final week, they would be alternating the nights that those play on. So odd-numbered classes would play on Friday, so 1, 3, 5. 2, 4, and 6 would be playing on Thursday. And then they said that schools will be able to swap home and home on week 11, but they're not going to change the day of the game. Now, they said that, but that's not happened. So Westview, Covington already moving their game from Friday to Thursday, and other teams potentially doing that as well. So I don't know why you make these rules and then don't enforce them, but it is what it is. I don't really care if you get to play on a Thursday or not, but there is potentially 158 region games that are going to be played on this last week of the season. So let's look at the way this breaks down and tried to understand how this potential breakdown for the classes are going to take place. So we know that November 7th, Friday, November 7th, will start the first round of the playoffs, right? We'll be looking at that. So the odd regions this year, well, take that back. It's not the odd regions. In Single A, Class 1A football, we'll be looking at Region 5, 7, hosting the game. Region 5, 7 winners. And then Regions 3, 5 and 7, 3s will also host a game. And then In the first and second rounds, the higher seeded teams will be the host schools, and in the third and fourth round, the semifinals, odd number teams in odd number years, the top team of each bracket shall be the host team. So we are in an odd year for football, 2025. So that comes into play. The third round and the semifinals, the odd numbered years, the top team in each bracket shall be the host team. So if you have a 4 and a 3, then obviously the 3 team would host that. If you have a 1 and a 1, then I'm not sure how that's going to what you're going to have is you're going to have the higher seeded team in the region is going to host in the third, and then it would go to the odd regions would host if that's the case. So if there's a higher region, then this year the odd regions would host that round. That will go all the way through to December 5th on Friday, in which the state championship will take place. And we've got basketball kicking off and will be in full effect here through November. So the playoffs basically are November 7th through December 6th, and basketball starts on the 18th. So the week of the third round of the playoffs is the start of basketball as well. So we could be covering a game and a football game, or we could be doing basketball. I'm not sure how that takes place. And so let's look at these regions as they break down, all right? And let's start with Region 6 in Class 1A. In Region 6, Class 1A, right now, McKenzie sits at 7-1 in Class 1A. They're 3-0 in the region. But they're followed by McEwen, who is also 3-0 in the region. Now, McKenzie has scored 146 points and given up 12, and McEwen has scored 72 points and given up 40 in the region. Overall, McKenzie has scored 344 points and given up 93, while McEwen is almost 500 and scoring 126 and giving up 122. McKenzie has played Collinwood, Hollow Rock, Brewston, Perry County. They have Wayne County and McEwen, so the head-to-head will be there, the last game of the season. And McEwen has Hollow Rock, Brewston, and McKenzie left. So potentially, could they have 2 losses there? I don't know. Hollow Rock, Brewston's 0-3 in the region, and they have 2 games left to play against McEwen and Perry County. So we'll see how that takes place. But it looks like right now, as it stands, that in Division I, Class Single A, Region 6, McKenzie and McEwen will vie for the first place and second place team. Wayne County could be there because they do play McKenzie, and then Collinwood could potentially be that 4th spot. However, Wayne County loses, and they could potentially end up in that 4th spot because they do play Collinwood on the last game of the season. So McKenzie, I would imagine, finishes 1 there in that region, followed by McEwen, Wayne County, and then Collinwood. Hollow Rock, Brewston, and Perry County are out of that. In Region 7, Class Single A, 6-2 on the season, 4-0 sets Dresden. They have games against South Fulton and Lake County. Both of those games could be potential losses for Dresden. Both of those teams are very good. South Fulton and Lake County set at 2-3. Both of them are good teams, and both of them potentially could beat Dresden. So we'll have to watch how that plays out in how that potentially plays out to the end here for Dresden and those three teams. Right now we have in the region a three-way tie between Lake County, Greenfield, and Gleason for the third and fourth spot in that region as it sits today, with all of these teams except for Humboldt, who is sitting outside right now at 2 and 3, who still has to play Gleason. All of these teams will finish up the year with 2 region games. So 2 region losses for Dresden puts them at 4-2. 2 region wins for South Fulton puts them at 5 and 1. So we could see some jumping there between 1 and 5. Humboldt, 1 and 6. Humboldt still in some talks right now in Region 7, Class 1A. In Region 8, Class 1A, you got Middle College, 4-0, Memphis Westwood, 3-1, Oak Haven, 2-1, Kip, 2-1, and Middleton sitting there at 2-2. And so, again, we have 3 games left for some of these schools, and I don't know how we have 3 games. They must not have this updated from last night. But we have we have 2 games left for all of these schools, and all of these schools have 2 games left in the region for Region 8 Class 1A. Still a mess. The only one right now that potentially could lock it up here is if Memphis Middle College beats Memphis Westwood, which they play next week. They will wrap up the number 1 seed, and then we potentially could have another 2-way tie between 3 teams for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Class 1A. Now let's bump to Class 2A. Class 2A in Region 5 is Lewis County at 4-0, Mount Pleasant at 4-0. They play each other next week. And then Lewis County has Riverside, which I believe they'll beat, and Mount Pleasant has Loreto, which I believe they'll beat. So really, I think the Super Bowl for Division 1 Class 2A Region 5 comes down to this game next week between Lewis County and Mount Pleasant. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. Lewis County scoring a bunch more points than Mount Pleasant on the season, but Mount Pleasant's defense is very stingy. They've only given up 58 points all year long, while scoring 285. So Mount Pleasant, we'll see how that happens. Both of them set at 1-0. 7-1 in the season. 4-0 and region play. Very interesting there. You say, well, Coach, why are you talking about Region 5? They're nowhere near us. Well, that's because Adamsville and Riverside and Scotts Hill, teams that we potentially see here in West Tennessee on a regular, are in Class 2A Region 5. Region 6 moves over to that East Hickman, East Nashville region. Again, teams that we will see in the playoffs. East Robertson right now 3-0 in the region. They're 8-0 overall. They probably have this region wrapped up as their defense very stingy. And they play East Nashville, who sits in 2nd place. But we potentially could see a winless East Hickman in the playoffs in the region. Not saying win. No, take that back. I think East Hickman will beat Hickman County. They'll be 1-3 in the playoffs in the region play. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes down to these teams. We're going to send teams like Union City or Halls home because an East Hickman who has 1 win can't make it into the potential playoffs. And you're going to have a team like Union City who's going to potentially have 3 wins or 2 wins like JCM, or 2 wins like Union City sitting out of the playoffs, where almost an over team gets in. because of the region that they're in. I just don't understand that. But nonetheless, it is what it is, and we'll move forward. Milan, Class 2A, Region 7. Milan sitting at top at 5-0. They have Peabody left. Peabody's at 4-0. Peabody has Huntington and Milan left. Huntington is sitting at 3-1. They have Peabody and Union City. I believe they will beat Union City. The Peabody's game is going to come down to who's deciding the second-placed finisher. However, if Peabody can get past Huntington this week, we'll be looking at the championship game in Class 2A Region 7 coming the last game of the season, as Peabody will take on Milan at Milan the last game of the season. Another tie-up in Class 2A out of Region 8. Fairleigh right now 5-0, Mace 5-0. They both play each other the last game of the season. Mitchell 4-1. They sit in the third spot. Memphis Business is 3-2. They do not play each other, but Mitchell plays Fairleigh, so Mitchell could lose. They would be 4-2. Memphis Business could beat Mace, maybe. They could be 4-2, and we'd have a tie going into that fourth spot. At this point, because they don't play each other, it's going to talk about head-to-head versus your overall schedule. Tresvent also in potential talks for that region, and as they sit 2-3 right now. Could they be in there with Memphis Business or even Mitchell at the end of the season, looking for a potential way to get into the playoffs? Very easily, they could do any or all of that. Now looking at Class 3A, Class 3A in Region 6. Waverly, 4-0, 8-0 on the season. They got Harpeth and Fairview left. Fairview sits in number 3 currently. Harpeth is out of the playoffs right now currently. Sycamore, 3-2 in region play. They're 4-4 overall. They have Cheatham County. They should win that game. That will move them to 4-2. Fairview has Cheatham County. I believe they'll win that game. That will make them 4-1 in region play, with one region game left against Waverly. Fairview will probably lose that game against Waverly, making them 4-2, potentially tied with Sycamore. And because the way that region falls, Sycamore will have the head-to-head because they beat Fairview for homecoming 31-30. Camden still in it. They're sitting at 2-2, but Harpeth is also 2-2. And so we'll have to see potentially out of that. They play each other. They also play Stewart County and Waverly. So I believe Camden has a little bit of an easier route to the playoffs at this point in time, because Harpeth will have to play Waverly, the number 1 team in the region, while Camden will have to play Stewart County and Cheatham County. They'll play Stewart County next, who is winless in the region, and then they'll play Harpeth there at the end, which could mean this game could come down to that win if Harpeth can get past Waverly. Region 7 Class 3A. Covington, 8-0 on the season, 4-0 in the region. Westview, 7-0 on the season, 4-0 in the region. That's your number 1 and 2. That game will be played the final week of the season in Martin, Tennessee. Westview's defense, very stingy, giving up 73 points a game. while Covington's defense also very stingy, only giving up, I said 73 points a game, giving up 73 points on the season, whereas Covington has given up 92. Here's the difference. Covington has scored 432 points on the season, and Westview has scored 361. So the offense for Covington right now seems to be clicking just a little bit better than the offense for Westview. However, the offense for Westview is moving and in the region play even better than Covington's. It's a headache. I don't know. Dyersburg 3-1 in the region. McNary Central right now 2-3. They have one game left against Covington, and that game is next week. McNary Central will lose that game, I believe, and they'll be 3-3. And then Obion will have to win out. If Obion wins out, then they'll also be 3-3, and we could have a tied for that 4th spot in Class 3, Region 7, and it just makes your head hurt. Melrose in Class 3, Region 8 is sitting at 4-0. They're 6-1 overall, followed by Bolton, who is at 4-1, 4-3 overall. And then Wooddale, Hamilton, and Raleigh Egypt all tied at 2-2 in the region. This region play is going to really come down to the last week or two of the season here, and we'll just have to look at that next week to see who and where these teams might be going. Let's look at 4A in Region 5, because Region 5 will be one of those teams we'll see here potentially in Jackson. Region 5, Class 4A, Marshall County sitting at 2-0. They're 5-3 on the season. Spring Hill also 2-0 in region play. They're sitting at 3-4 overall. So listen to me, folks. As you're listening and thinking about teams that potentially could be overall 500 and sitting in the second place spot in a particular region. A second place finish with a 500 overall record. It's not something that I want to see in football, but nonetheless, that's the way our regions are mapped out, so we'll have to play them as they are. I feel that this region, Region 5, could potentially, as they match up with Region 6, potentially could get swept in Class 4A. I think that's a strong possibility. And you look at teams like, you say, well, Marshall County's pretty good. They're 5-3. No, they're not as good as a Springfield, who sits in the third spot in Region 6 Class 4A with a 7-1 overall record. Now, Marshall County would have Liberty Creek. Liberty Creek is going to probably finish out the year maybe 3-7, maybe 2-8, but they're going to walk into the region, Liberty Creek, with a 1-3 record in the 4th spot. They're going to walk into the region play with a 1-3 record, because they got to take on Pearl Cone, and so it's one of those things where I don't understand how you have Region 6 Class 4A with 5 teams, and then you have Region 7 Class 4A with 8 teams, and you're going to leave two teams out of the playoffs that are probably going to have better records than all of Region 6's overall records, minus one team. And if that's if this one team wins both of their last two games, which they play White House, which they could lose, and they play Springfield, which they should win. So they'll be 8-2, and you're potentially going to see Southside and Northside and maybe Lexington sitting at 7-3, and you're going to have a Springfield who finishes third with an 8-2 record. I mean, I just don't understand how you think that is fair on all aspects, especially when you could have Springfield and Liberty Creek coming into this region playoffs having a losing record, and you've got right now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 place teams in Region 7 Class 4A, all with winning records. That's what I just don't understand. I don't understand how that's even potentially possible. But nonetheless, it is. If you put Chester County or even a Hardin County team that I watched last night in there with Liberty Creek and Greenbrier and Springfield, I believe Hardin County beats 3 of these 5 teams, and they're sitting in the playoffs. Right now, Hardin County is going to be potentially 2-8 on the season, 0-7 in the region, and they're going to be sitting out. But you've got a 4th place finishing team that's going to have a 1 region win, and they're going to get into the playoffs. I don't understand that. I don't know how that is, but nonetheless, it is that way. Region 8, Class 4A. Haywood, 4-0. Kirby, 4-0. Lakeland Prep, 3-2. Millington, 2-3. Fayette Ware sits at 1-3. Wedgeway sits at 1-3. And Millington has the win over Fayette Ware, which is why they're 2-3 in the region as well. They have 1 game left against Ridgeway. They should win that game. I say that they should. Ridgeway can't score. They've scored 28 points all season long. So Millington should win that game. I'm going to say this. Fayette Ware's offense is really good. Their defense is not very good. But Fayette Ware has Kirby, which they can score against, I think, but can they stop Kirby? And then they have Craigmont, who they should beat. So they're going to finish 2-4. And I guess if Millington gets upset by Ridgeway, they'll finish 2-4, but Millington will have the head-to-head, so Millington would go into the playoffs. Fayette Ware will be sitting at the house. I just don't understand. I don't know. I don't know why. It's really that Class 4A and Class 2A that is the biggest difference when you have such a variety of teams, because you look at Milan, Peabody, Huntington, Union City, and then JCM, Halls, and Gibson County. I don't think Gibson County this year could beat anybody in another region, so it doesn't matter. Halls could compete. I think maybe if you put them in with a Hickman and an East Hickman. Now that's way on the other side of the state almost, right? So Halls would actually have to go towards Memphis. Memphis has 8 teams, but those teams could be, you could take 3 of those teams out. You could take 2 teams out of Region 7, and that would give you a 5 classification. Halls potentially could compete in that they could potentially finish in a fourth spot this year if there was another region. But then who do they play, right? You gotta have enough regions around. So could you take a team out of region or two out of region 5 and make that happen? You would have to go all the way over to region 8-1A and bump some teams up to 2A to make that happen. That's where it gets into the issue is that we don't have enough teams in these regions to make that happen. So you have to be put into a region where somebody is going to get left out. It gives me a headache. I don't understand it. I understand it. I don't understand it, why it is that way, but I understand why it is the way it is. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and let's talk some college football as we have some very exciting games in the ranks of the NCAA this week. A big win for Jackson State Tuesday night. We'll have to look at how they did last night as well. But let's look at college football. Games underway right now. Some big games in the college football ranks as LSU and Vanderbilt are playing today. That game is on. And an unranked Washington. What about the unranked Washington in the Big Ten? 5-1 on the season and unranked. What do you think about that? Hey, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll start looking at college action and breaking that down. Back in just a couple minutes, folks. Don't go away.
Planning your financial future can be a daunting task. With all the things you want to achieve, how do you prepare so your money will go the distance? Here's some advice that may help. Why not talk to your local Woodman Life representative? They can answer all your questions, and together you can fill out a free needs analysis to help identify your short and long-term financial goals. Our representative can then recommend insurance and annuity solutions to help make your financial future safe and secure, so that all those things you want to achieve remain firmly in your sights.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bonifer, your local Woodman Life representative. Did you know that the life insurance you have through work may not be there for you if you change jobs? Call me at 731-423-4784 to discuss your options for protecting your family's financial future.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Hey there, you pizza lovers. When it comes to the perfect pizza, Jet's Pizza is in a league of their own. Our dough is made fresh every morning, hand-pressed with care, and baked to absolute perfection. We believe in the art of crafting pizza, slicing veggies by hand, and mixing ripe tomatoes with a blend of tantalizing spices. You haven't experienced pizza until you've tried our famous Detroit-style deep dish pizza. With 2 locations in Jackson, call 731-300-7992 to get your Jet's Pizza now. We're also looking for delivery drivers with flexible schedules. Join our team and spread joy with every delicious delivery. Jet's Pizza in Jackson.
All the recent weather events has me wondering of ways to protect my home and my family in the event of an emergency or power outage. I can't imagine being without power.
At Lindsay Electric, family means everything. A generator installed by the factory-trained team at Lindsay Electric is the best solution for your family in any emergency.
So what's my next move?
Call Lindsay Electric today for a free consultation at 731-423-1580.
Hi, I'm Kobe Lindsay. At Lindsay Electric, it's not just a generator, it's a power move.
Is it a coincidence that the Titans play in the American Football Conference and there's an American Motors location on North Highland in Jackson? We think not. With a vast selection of off-road vehicles and street machines to fit every budget and lifestyle. There may be pressure on the field, but you will never be pressured at American Motors on North Highland in Jackson. Call 554-5000. Visit AmericanMotorsOfJackson.com. American Motors. Shop local, buy American, and go Titans.
Now open Tai Chi Bubble Tea, a new restaurant experience in Jackson with an inviting ambience like no other. You can enjoy a comfortable, family-friendly atmosphere while going through Tai Chi's extensive drink menu and deciding between their sushi menu, Tai Chi rice box, or ramen menu. You're invited to come see for yourself so you can tell all your friends and come back for more. Come and experience Tai Chi Bubble Tea, Jackson's newest place to meet and greet. 8 Stonebridge, down from Aldi.
Hey, welcome back. Sports Talk Live with the coach. That's me, Coach T. Stratton, live right here at Caddy's Sports Club, Jackson, Tennessee. And we are excited to be here, as always, talking sports with you. And what a great morning it has been here in West Tennessee, as we are talking sports right here all morning. And let's get into some college football action, because we've got action heating up around West Tennessee. And what about them Memphis Tigers? Man, they've got a big game coming up this week against South Florida, and that is a game that if South Florida doesn't take it seriously, Memphis will score on them, and Memphis will win the American, and that could be a big win for Memphis, as I believe South Florida ranked in the top 25. How is Memphis not ranked in the top 25? I don't know. But nonetheless, let's run this down. LSU and Vanderbilt right now have got a game going on in Nashville. The number 17th ranked Vandy taking on the number 10 ranked LSU. LSU up 3-0 here early in the first quarter. I think Vandy will give LSU a little bit of a run for their money here. I know there was a lot of talk between that Vandy and Alabama game and some running of the mouth, but Vandy's a good football team. It's going to be interesting to see just how they rebound and take on this LSU team. I think they get a win today. I think Vandy gets the win at home. And I think they've got enough weapons to make that happen, and they get another win in the SEC. And can we be talking about the Commodores really solidifying themselves as a contender in the SEC? I think we potentially could. I think this is a team that we could be seeing as somebody to watch for instead of somebody to beat up on. The LSU Tigers right now are going to have their hands full in action here today with Vanderbilt. So we'll see. That game's on, I believe, ABC, and it's Vandy driving here now inside the 30, and LSU coming up with a big stop there, 3rd and 8 now. Washington, another team that we're talking about here in the Big Ten that is unranked, but yet they've lost to the champs, the Ohio State Buckeyes. And Washington right now in that state up north that we don't really like to talk about as an Ohio State fan, and they're taking on the guys in blue, the team up north, and if they come away with a win today, they're going to be sitting pretty here in the Big Ten. They're 5-1 overall, 2-1 in the Big Ten. I understand that Michigan also is 2-1 in the Big Ten, but they're a 5-1 team that's not ranked, that lost to Ohio State. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, you're looking at a Washington team that is, dare we say, better than most other teams that are 5-1. I mean, are they better than Virginia at 5-1? Are they better than Louisville? At 5-1. Are they better than Miami? No, probably not better than Miami at 5-1. But you have to look at these teams. Could they be better than a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket team that's 6-0? Could they be better than a 6-0 BYU Cougars? Maybe not. They could be better than the 5-1 Cincinnati Bearcats. They could be better than, or are better than, the 5-1 Utah Utes. They could be better than the number 20 5-1 USC Trojans. I mean, there are some definites when you look at this team. Hey, they are potentially better than the 5-2 Nebraska Cornhuskers in the same conference. Now, Nebraska putting up some points this year, but they're also giving up some points. That's why they're 5-2. But Washington sitting there at 5-1, also 5-1, are the number 8 Oregon Ducks. You got to think that Washington should be. Are they better than the 4-2 Notre Dame Fighting Irish? You've got to think that that team is as good as half of those other teams we just talked about. And, oh, yeah, all of those other half are ranked. The number 10 LSU Tigers, the number 9 Georgia Bulldogs, the number 11 Tennessee Volunteers, all 5-1. The number 21 Texas Longhorns, 4-2. Mizzou 5-1, 16. Oklahoma 5-1 at 14. Vanderbilt 5-1 at 17. Could Washington compete with half of those teams? Sure. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go out and beat Tennessee or Alabama or Georgia. But could they beat a Missouri? Could they beat an Oklahoma? Could they beat a Vanderbilt? Potentially. They potentially could do that. And they would be ranked. Well, why aren't they ranked right now? Now, you say, Coach, man, you're hating on the SEC. No, I'm not hating on the SEC. I'm hating on a fact that you've got a 5-1 team that lost to the defending national champs, and they're not ranked ahead of a number 19 South Florida Bulls. They're not ranked ahead of a 5-1 Virginia team out of the ACC. They're not ranked ahead of a 5-1 Utah or Cincinnati team out of the Big 12. And they don't have to be ranked ahead of them, in my opinion. And you say, well, maybe their strength of schedule, maybe their wins are not as pretty. Style points, guys, in the grand scheme of things, don't matter in my book. But let me just give you a little rundown. Yeah, they beat Colorado State. They beat UC Davis. Who else hasn't played some schmuck teams like that? You going to tell me that the other schools that Tennessee or Alabama has played or even Ohio State has played has mattered in the grand scheme of things? I mean, they beat Washington State, who is normally a pretty good football team, 59-24. They lost to Ohio State 24-6. They beat Maryland 24-20. Maryland's 4-2. They beat Rutgers 38-19. Rutgers 3-3. So who do they have to beat? Now they're going to come up against a couple teams that are going to be pretty good, and they have to face Oregon at the end of the season. They've got that team up north that is so-so, and I'm not going to talk about them. They've got Illinois next week. They've got UCLA. We're not going to say they're in or out of it. They got UCLA. But in the grand scheme of things, I think a 5-1 team probably should be ranked in college football. A Division I 5-1 team in the Big Ten should be ranked in college football, probably ahead of some conferences like the American or the Pac-2, wherever they're playing at, or dare I say even an unconferenced 4-2 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That's fighting words around here to some folks. Notre Dame should be in the playoffs every year just because they're Notre Dame. What a performance by Shohei Ohtani last night. He pitches 6 perfect innings, strikes out 10, and hits 3 home runs on the night. Could we be seeing the greatest baseball player to ever play the game? Let's welcome in Coach Eric Turner from JCM. Coach, I know you're in the football mindset, but when you talk about athletic performances, you go out to a mound, strike out 10 in 6 innings, and then hit 3 home runs in a game. Are you maybe one of the greatest athletes to ever live?
Definitely. Usually it's just one or the other.
Yeah.
It's not both. That's not normal.
No, not at all. I mean, wow, what a performance from Shohei Ohtani last night and the Dodgers. And to make something like that happen, there are a lot of great baseball players, and there are a lot of guys right now that are playing baseball that are great. I'm not sure a stat line like that has ever been put up. And you say, well, there's a lot of guys that hit 3 home runs and even guys that hit 4 home runs, but not go out and strike 10 batters out either.
No,
you throwing your arm out on the mound and then you go up there and hit 3 home runs.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
It's crazy. I mean, we've seen pitchers that have never gotten a hit in a season because they're a pitcher.
Right.
Now they hit, but they hit 9th. They strike out. They go back to the dugout, put the ice back on their arm, and go back out to the mound and then they do well. I mean, yeah, but we don't see pitchers go out and hit 3 home runs. No, not going to happen. Not on the regular.
There's a lot of skill to be able to do both of those things.
Crazy. Hey, let's talk some Cougar football because the Cougars took care of business last night. Where was that game at? It was
at Liberty.
At Liberty. For some reason, everybody kept telling me you guys had a home game, and I was like, no, I must be wrong because that game was not a home game for JCM. It was a home game for Liberty, and rightfully so. But they even have you on the scorebook as a home game, Liberty at JCM. But all game, you guys got a big win, and onto this wacky playoff scenario of pushing tires down Interstate 40 with a stick, maybe to see who wins and can get into the playoffs. I don't know what the breakdown is of coin flips and this and that. I've been trying to figure it out. But your opponent's records matter. Liberty having a pretty good year this year. You get the win over them, and they're having a pretty good year. This could, of course, it's not a region matchup, but what I'm saying is it doesn't matter just about region matchups anymore. In the tiebreaker scenarios, it could come down to your opponent having a 500 record or better, and so this matters in the grand scheme of things. You got the win, but again, Liberty they should finish out potentially 5-5, maybe even 6-4 this year, and that could matter for you guys down the road. But big win. Tell us about your team last night.
They came out with energy. They had had a bye week last week, so had a couple of days off last week to get their minds right and get their bodies rested up. So they came out and played fast, like they've been rested.
Playing fast and rested against a quarterback like Marsh is something that was probably needed, because he can get to the corner and down the stretch in a heartbeat. Of course, they got that other. I think they have a number 4, much like you guys have a number 4.
Kevion Marshall.
Yeah, and he can skedaddle in a heartbeat. And so, but it looks like the defense played very well. Tell us about the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, so the defense, they played well, man. They filled up all the gaps, and we swarmed to the ball. Liberty, I mean, like you said, Marsh and Marshall, those guys, they can fly. So you gotta keep your gap integrity on defense, because all they need is a keyhole, and they get out and they'll be gone. So like I said, we had kept gap integrity last night, and then we swarmed to the ball.
Who on the offensive side of the ball for you guys last night showed out? You guys put up 40 points and one of the better points performances for you guys for the year. But what did your offense do to keep this defense for Liberty on their heels?
We had a pretty balanced game yesterday. I think we had 3 touchdowns through there and 3 on the ground. I think Terrell he rushed for 1 on the sneak. He threw, he might have threw for 2. No, he threw for 3. Threw 1 to Eckford and 2 to look. I done went blank. I guess that's bad. But he threw 1 the first touchdown. He threw to Eckford, and then the second 2 he threw to Makai Hill, and then he ran for 1 quarterback sneak. Tayshawn ran for 1, and LeKelvin ran for 1, I believe.
So kind of an all-around night for everybody to get their feet wet. You guys got a huge game next week. I'll be on the call for that game at Rothrock. We're still
senior night next week. Senior night.
Senior night.
Yes, sir.
Where do I go to film this game, Coach?
Senior night next week.
Up in the air, huh?
Senior night.
Senior night next week. We're gonna have that on the air for you somewhere, somehow. But we'll talk about that and get that information out to you as soon as possible once that's solidified. But senior night next week.
Yes, sir.
For the Cougars. How many seniors you got on your team this year, Coach?
You got 17.
17.
You got 17 seniors. This is my largest senior class since we've been there. They've been playing well. They're the foundation of the team. They sprinkled out everywhere. So there's a great group of young men. Great scholars, too. A lot of guys in the senior class they're in the top 10 and top 20 of their class academically. So that's something that you can definitely be proud of. You know, you got those type of kids on the team that are truly student athletes. And that's not just the seniors, but it's the others, too. But just talking about the senior class, there's a lot of top guys in that class out of this senior class.
Yeah, this game week, senior night.
Senior night
has 2 special meanings, because not only is it senior night for the Cougars, but basically it's the Super Bowl for the Cougars. It's a winner go home matchup between you guys and Union City, and after the non-region victory over Liberty, Union City got the region victory over Gibson County last night, and so they've got 2 games remaining, 2 very tough games, one against JCM next week, and then they have to go to Huntington, which will be a very uphill battle for them. So if you take care of business next week, it looks like the Cougars were probably going to find themselves in that fourth spot for Region 7 Class 2A, but it all starts with taking care of business next week.
Yes, sir. Like I told you, our playoffs started with Gibson County. So instead of playoffs starting in November, it started in October for us, how we started the season. But that's fine. The ball is in our court. We control our own destiny. So we just got to go in and we got to take care of business. I mean, Union City, they're a good football team. They got some athletes. Union City, I mean, they always have athletes come out of Union City. Several that won the track state championship last year when we were down there in Murfreesboro. So they got athletes and they can play. So we got to come in. This has got to be the best game of the season for us, so we can get in. Because I know, like I said, both of us fighting to get in those playoffs. So they gonna come and bring it, and we got to make sure that we match their intensity.
Yeah. Union City and then Halls to wrap things up. So region matchups, you have always a chance that something could happen at Huntington. But again, taking care of business next week should potentially put you guys in for that region. And then talk to us about the playoffs. And I know you're not looking ahead; it's one game at a time. But how does the region playoffs look with this new pod scenario? If you finish first and fourth, you roll with one pod. If you finish second and third, you roll with another pod.
I think all of us will go to the same. So we're going west
in
this
the
year.
First round.
Yeah,
yes.
First round we'll go west. So our region we matched up with Fairleigh, Mitchell, Memphis Business, and Mace. I think they're the top four out of the Memphis district. So we'll be matched up with them, and I think Fairleigh and Fairleigh beat NBA in a close one a couple of weeks ago, and then Mace and Fairleigh played the last game of the season, which is looking like it may be for the region championship over there. So 1 and 2, depending on how the next 2 weeks goes. I'm not sure who else on the schedule, but I know if we finish 4, we'll be going to Memphis and playing one of those teams.
Yeah, Fairleigh has Mitchell and Mace left. Fairleigh right now with the higher overall record of 6-2, 5-0 in the region. Mace is at in the second place, 5-3 overall, 5-0 in the region. They've got that Memphis Business game that you talked about, and then Fairleigh. So they still could have some shuffling of some teams there
at the end, so they can shuffle around depending on who comes out with the victory.
Yeah, it's really in high school football, these last 2 weeks are going to be very exciting because really, you don't want to call it the flip of a coin, but it's a flip of a coin because you got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 scenarios depending on what region you're in.
Right.
When you're looking at that 4A region where there's 27 teams in it seems like in Class 7 or Region 7 Class 4A. There's 5 teams vying for a second place finish right now, and it's really kind of that way in your classification too. You've got you guys and Union City trying to fight for that second and third spot, but really one is still up for grabs in that region as well.
Yeah, because Peabody and Milan play, I think, the last game of the season.
Yeah.
So Peabody has Huntington coming up. So like I said, it can shuffle. So it's crazy. I mean, West Tennessee has some good football in, and there's a lot of good teams. So somebody has to watch from home. So you just got to come in and, like I said, it's no days off.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you come and bring it every Friday night, so you can get in.
Yeah, and at this point, that's what you're again scraping for is the fact that you just need to get in. Winning that Union City is, of course, winning last week against Gibson County, as you said, was the start of that. You guys took care of business there at home, and then the Hub City Center that's closed again. And Senior night next Friday night.
Senior night, yes, sir.
At somewhere for the Cougars. But yeah, so you guys take care of business there against Gibson County, and then you've got Union City, and then Halls, and again, if you beat Union City, you guys are tied 2-3 apiece. The favorite would be that if you win that game, JCM probably will beat Halls and Union City will lose to Huntington. But this is a oblong ball that bounces a lot of funny ways,
right.
And you never want to look anybody out.
No.
Especially a team that can come in with the motivation to knock somebody out of the playoffs. We saw that a little bit last night in Hardin County at Southside. Hardin County didn't want to give up, and finally it was the will of Southside that overcame that game. But Hardin County was there to play spoiler, kick somebody out of the playoffs. And at this point in time, Huntington and Halls are in that boat to kick somebody out of the playoffs that maybe they don't want to see down the road. Because we could also be looking at, as you guys go west, there's at least 3, if not 4 teams that could go into the playoffs and potentially sweep the playoffs and bring everything back in the 3rd round, I think it would be, back to West Tennessee here, and y'all can face each other again.
Right. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it'd be a rematch of some sort of, if the teams from this side or either side win. So it's interesting. Playoff football is exciting.
Hey, very exciting. And what an exciting matchup it would be that you guys potentially could make that happen and then have to go back to Milan for a 2nd year in a row where we've had such exciting games between the Cougars and the Bulldogs. I'd pay big money to watch that game on TV because you wouldn't get in the stadium. I mean, it'd be packed out.
Oh yeah, it would definitely be packed out.
It'd be crazy. The fried Oreos that come from the concession stand over there at Milan are legit, but I'd be having to watch that one from the house with some Popeye's chicken and Carico's pizza, and have myself a cannoli probably, which is okay. I'll take that any day of the week. Coach, you guys get the win here. What is your message to your team this weekend, Monday afternoon, as you prepare for Union City coming into town, that senior night? Some distractions with senior night. It's always an emotional night, probably even more emotional than even a homecoming week would be, because this is the last time that potentially those group of young men will step in front of their family and their peers on their home field and suited up for the Cougars. What is your message to your team?
Just finish. That's what we got to do. We got to finish. Last night, we kind of talked about before the game, and we got to set the tone. This game coming off the bye week, set the tone, and then we got to keep the tone. So that's I think that we're going to kind of hang with that one. So we set the tone. We got to keep the tone and keep getting better. It's going to be an emotional night, like you said, but for those seniors, they got to come out and they got to set the tempo of their game. It's their last game, last regular season home game. So they got to come out and they got to show with their 4 years of hard work and training and overcoming adversity, what that means. And they got to come out and leave it all out on the field, and then the other guys got to come out and leave it out on the field for them. So I think they got to understand and they got to focus of what's in mind, and they got to come out, like I said, and just keep the tone.
Talk about the legacy that this group of seniors, because this is the group that's been with you 4 years.
No. So this, that was last year. So a lot of these seniors, where they were 8th graders on the middle school team.
So they come through the program last year with the seniors that laid a foundation. What is it for this group to take that foundation and kind of just lay the next set of bricks in the road for the Cougars, because sometimes you can do it once and it can be special, but if you do it twice, and those kids come through like that, and they build upon that foundation, and we could look at the record and you say, well, Coach, it's not the same. It's not the same as it was last year. It's a different team. It's a different record. This and that. But the foundation that you guys have set as a coaching staff, as a program, as a school, as a community, those kids are carrying on. And how special is it for them to buy into what happened last year and to continue to lay that road work for the Cougars to come?
I think it's big. And we talk about sustainability. Anybody can do it once, but being able to do it twice, and like you said, it's not the same record, but I mean, it's a lot of things that go into records. I mean, a lot of games we played last year were close games, and a lot of the ones we lost this year were close games against good teams. So it's about a mindset. It's a different. We talked about it. It's a different path than last year. But the end goal is still the same. So we're still trying to get to the same destination. If we can still get to that destination, we may take a slight detour, then it's still a win. It's a lot of things that happened this year that didn't happen last year. And you know, sometimes, and no excuse, but we took, and bounced our way last year per se. But knowing that having a winner mentality and knowing that, hey, it's time, and we can come in and we can work together and we can execute the offense and defense, and we can still make it happen, then it is always a success. It's always a win.
Yeah. Your losses this year, you talked about that, coming against Northside and Southside. Here's two teams that are vying for playoff position in a classification that is going to send potentially 4 teams home that all could be runner-ups or region champs somewhere else and have been. And even one team that's going to go to the house that was 2 years ago in the state championship, because of the way that region's going to break down, and somebody's going to get left out. And then these teams in your own region like Milan, Huntington, and Peabody, who right now look like they're all ready to go win the next state championship. And so you talk about those losses. Your losses aren't against somebody that's not a proven program. I mean, you go out and again, you said they're close losses, right? I mean, 21-7 ball game to Milan really should have been 21-14. Probably could have been 21-14 the other way. It was that close. So the scoreboard a little, kind of deceiving there, the way that one falls out. But again, Jackson Northside, another situation there. It's 22-20 ball game. You're going against a 4A school in a 2A division, and you guys, again, a ball bounced one way or the other, and it's a different ball game. But it's one of those things where you're going to get into potentially the playoffs here, and you're going to be a battle-tested team. And I'm not sure that even some of these other regions have a 1 and 2 team that is as battle-tested as the 4 or 5 or 6 team, even in this region, would be. And 2 of them are going to be sitting at the house. Right.
I mean, and that's just what it is. We want to get in. Our goal is to get in. And if we get in, we think we have a good shot week to week, battle-tested. We always talk about we don't take losses, we take lessons. So we learn lessons, and in each one of those close losses, we learn lessons about ourselves, and we got to learn from those lessons. And we learn from those lessons, I think we'll fare well in and out the season.
Everybody coming out healthy from last night?
Yes, sir.
I think the big question on everybody's mind is coming into this week, the importance of this game. Will Massey be ready to play come Friday night?
Massey, he got to knock a little dust off last night, so he got a couple minutes.
Okay.
So we're looking forward. We're trying to progress him back in. We don't want to put too much on him. Make sure he's ready, but there may be a Michael Massey sighting.
Might be a Michael Massey
on
sighting.
On Friday night.
On a Friday night, senior night.
Fitting.
Somewhere in Jackson, Tennessee.
Senior night.
Senior night. Coach, I love you, man. I appreciate the humor and lack of humor in some of the humorous situations that we talk about. It's
gotta love it.
Just gotta love life.
Yeah, gotta love life.
Hey, that's all right. You can catch the Cougars right here on Talking Sports this week, somewhere in West Tennessee. Let's just go play at the Liberty Bowl.
Hey, let's do it.
Might as well. I mean, why not? Played everywhere else in the state.
Hey, that'd be nice.
So we'll have that game on right here, Talking Sports, West Tennessee, and again, this is a Super Bowl. It's kind of a do or die this week for both of these teams, and the Cougars get past this one. People are going to say, well, they're in the playoffs. Yeah, well, they not yet. They're going to be tied to get into playoffs, and they'll have to take care of business one more week. A very tough team in Halls. They're not going to lay down for nobody.
No.
But probably a tougher opponent for Union City in that final week in Huntington. But Huntington's going to be a tested team because they've got Peabody next week.
Yeah.
And you never know what could happen in a game where you got to go play a team like Peabody, who is only giving up 69 points on the season. In this region, you think, well, hey, Coach Jacobs is gone, and this team is not what it was, but Coach Val stepped in and they seemed like they were just picked up the pieces and rolling.
Well, anybody know Coach Val knew that what type of job he was going to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, most definitely. So very excited about the playoff situations. Cougar football right back here on Talking Sports, West Tennessee this Friday night, and stay tuned. We'll put out the social media, maybe where the game will be played, and this week, and make it happen. We just have to play it out here in the parking lot.
Hey, that's fine.
And make it happen.
There's the lines already out there.
Lines out there, yeah, ready to go. Every 5 yards, and make it happen. 5 yards in a cloud of dust. Congratulations on the big win last night. Bragging rights in the city. It's always nice to have. And so, you guys, you and Liberty share some lines there, and some kids that could go one way or the other based upon where they're zoned, and could have the option coming out of 8th grade to go left or right based upon that zone. And so, when you have that win over a city opponent, it's always nice to get that. And so a big win, 40-0 over Liberty last night. We wish you much success this week against Union City, a region opponent, and playoffs. This is the start of the state champion. Every week is a playoff game, even in the regular season for the Cougars. So appreciate you coming in today and making this happen. I'm off to a wedding today. So I got to go home and get dolled up, and
this sounds fun.
Yeah. I think I might wear the old shorts and T-shirt.
You going with your wife?
No, she's got to go somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Well, I said you going with your wife. That's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah,
but you might can get away with it if you go solo.
And then if you show up like that, do you just get kicked out and get to go back home?
It depends on whose it is.
Yeah. I think it's at a nice place. I think I probably would get kicked out.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll wear, I don't know, jeans and a T-shirt, black jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Not going to happen. Hey, who you got in this Vanderbilt LSU game today?
I'm gonna go with Vandy. I'm gonna go with the underdog. They've been playing really good. So.
Yeah, now, but knocking on the end zone, they can score. They've got a great offense, and I think you're right. I think Vanderbilt will make it happen. Shouldn't have stretched that one. Should have cut it up in the inside, missed his hole. But yeah, I think Vanderbilt sneaks one on LSU today. Coach Lester Narcisse won't be happy about that, but he may not even watch the game. Who knows? He's over there worried about Dyer County next week. So all of us right here talking sports West Tennessee. Jackson, West Tennessee's Fox Sports affiliate. Hey, Team USA is in Argentina taking on the world But those 5 young ladies are right here from Jackson in West Tennessee, and they're in Argentina taking on the world in aerial sports this coming week. So if you catch those stories on our Talking Sports West Tennessee page, make sure you give them a big shout out. Go Team USA right here in Jackson. Didn't know we had world or U.S. champs until about a month ago, and now we may have world champs that quick. It's pretty good. And we're gonna get the team over there to Aero Athletics, and I tried out the hoop the other day. About broke my leg, and it was only about a foot and a half off the ground. So it'd be interesting to watch some of these young men that think they're stud athletes. Now, I'm an old guy now, but
yeah, it would be interesting.
It'd be interesting to see. We may have to do a team building camp over there or something, and
sounds good.
Watch these girls show these guys.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm not even going to attempt to do it.
No, not at all. I got a